Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Film is Okie Dokie. I am your host, as always, CJ, joined by the esteemed, lovely, transparent host of mine, friend, Tommy.
I'm looking at my hand, and it's... What did you mean transparent? I don't see through my hand.
Well, you know, that's fair. You're not translucent.
Right, that would mean light is passing through me, right?
Yeah, no light passes through you, pal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure how to take that, but I'm going to take it as just something that should be taken with very high regard.
You are in high regard.
Good.
You are in high
better
regard,
be.
yes.
I better be.
In high regard, get it?
No.
All right, well, moving on then. How are you doing?
I'm good. This last weekend was a busy weekend.
Yeah, you saw Shittinger. What did you say?
That's exactly who I saw.
No. Who was the name of?
We went and saw Kruang Bin.
That was close.
You were really close.
Yeah.
You were honestly so close. It was uncanny.
I don't think you can spell Kruang Bin without Shittinger.
CJ, let's form a band called Shittinger.
All right, put it on the band list names.
Okay. What instrument would you play?
Good band name. That's a good band name.
Good band name.
Good band name, yeah.
Wait, what was the one? This is going to take a second. We're gonna...
A joke for two people. This will only make you and I laugh. So Tommy, if you don't know, has a list of band names that he keeps on his phone. And it's an admirable project, if I do say so myself. I think I've had a few on there. I've put a few on there. You know, I don't always pitch. I'm not always pitching, but that's really how you get where you need to go, ladies and gentlemen. You just have to pitch. Always be pitching.
A lot of the band names in here are just random things people say that I then remove from context, but that's a great band name.
Yeah. If I saw it, I would instantly remember it.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through them. All right, here's what we're going to do. CJ and I were trying to make a joke for an audience of two. The audience of two being the two of us.
Right.
Because I won't go into the full story, but I'm just going to read through all these band names. CJ, let me know when there's a good one, specifically the one good one.
The one? Okay.
Yeah, ready? I'm just going to read through all these. This is good podcast content. Here are all the band names I've come up with over the year.
Okay.
Band names. We Are Fitzgerald, Limited Edition good. Chicken, Alabaster Wildcat, The Junk Luggers, An Imp's Purpose, Various Areas, Sprinkle in My Shoe, Jimpetus, Final Hits and Their Greatest Hits on Vinyl, Loud and Wild, but it's spelled Loudon, wild with an E at the end, Yodeling at Midnight, Wet Bread, MF Rock, Slab Town, Rice and Glasses, The Way Ladies, Dispensary Overload, Thematics, Habitual, Rob Toombs and the Corpse Crew, The Gnocchi Dokies, that's an Italian Wiggles band, Swede Talk in Your Ear, an ABBA cover band, For All Intents and Purposes, Lasagna Heights, Big Black Metal Rack, Sin Delivery, Jorge and the Guards, Knives and Bibles, Soul Poop, but soul is like SOUL and poop is poop, and then also Soul Poop, and then it's SOLE, and then poop. Saratogan Bush Bees, Port Thorn, Damn Amber Lamp, Forum Decorum, One in the Window, Bent Reds, Spider Free Guarantee, Furries with Jeans, Last One Out Leave the Lights On, Regressive Policies, Modern Party, Pistarine, Pros and Cons, but it's PROSE, Dinosaur Sex Dungeon, Thrift Water, Methed Out Merlin, Starfucker, although apparently that one...
That's what it was.
That's what it was. Apparently that one's already taken, though.
So we're in a restaurant. If I start getting into too many details, you buzz me, okay?
I'll just edit them out.
No. You buzz.
Okay.
Bzz.
Okay.
And then you edit them out. We were at a restaurant with a group of people. And at the restaurant, we were done eating and we were waiting for an Uber. And they were letting us wait there inside for the Uber because it was kind of cold outside, if I recall. It was it had snowed a lot.
We should say this place, very small and local joint.
Yes. In fact, they were unsure they could accommodate our group size.
Our group of like 9 to 10 people.
In the middle of the afternoon, we were the only ones there. So very much so, like, they were very nice and accommodating. So we were waiting for our Ubers to come because we had to get 2. And you were reading off your band names, and you're going through them, and they got to Starfucker, and someone just started screaming, Starfucker! 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 And it's like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
It was drawing so much attention to us.
Yeah, it was like, no, stop. This is not the one. We are Fitzgerald. You can scream that. That's fine. Like, you know.
Hotel butt slap. Come on. Pixel herpes. Even that.
Yeah. Hotel butt slap was from your underground video, right?
Oh, it definitely was.
Yeah.
Definitely was.
I know. I made a video about Tony Hawk Underground.
And I should say that Starfucker, the one that I got to, that was about halfway through all of the band names.
No,
there
and
are
you have a
so
good
many
list.
more.
Yeah. But just like the fixation on Starfucker.
Yeah. In public. And I don't even think I was reading them out. I think I handed my phone to the group, and this person just started screaming that out. Like,
right.
It was
100% what happened.
Uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable, and there is a little more context which we are not going to give, but yeah, it was uncomfortable and weird. And I remember someone came up to me because that person was going to get in my Uber, or someone was getting in my Uber because we had 10, right? So we had to do 5 and 5, and someone was like, "Oh, I'll get in CJ's Uber," and someone else goes, "Nope," and then jumped in the car and was like, "You're getting the next one." I was like, "Okay, all right, thank you." I mean, you were in my Uber, I think, both ways.
Yeah, I was in the way back.
Yeah, you were in the 3rd row. Well, you're lanky.
Yeah, so normally you don't want to put a lanky person in the far back seats that fold up out of a trunk. But since I was the only one back there, I like that seat because then I can put my legs up on the seat.
That's true.
You know, I just disrespect the Uber driver's car.
You did do that.
Mm-hmm.
But that guy was okay.
Our first driver there was a trip. Do you remember that drive? Grace was talking about making napalm while we were in the car.
Yeah, I was like, please stop.
It was amazing. I wanted to hear more about how napalm was made, but CJ had other ideas.
No, I was done. I was done with the napalm conversation. So I thought finding this list would be a lot easier than it was, and it is not easy. It was not easy to get at all, which is stupid. Really, we'll get to it. But yes.
He would have been court-martialed, but he could have killed you.
Okay. Do you like pickles?
I used to hate pickles as a child, and I turned on them around 5 years ago. Big pickle fan here.
You're a big pickle fan. Do you just raw dog eat a pickle?
Yeah.
Straight out the jar.
Yeah, I did that just the other night.
Okay. So you're like, as a snack, you'll just eat a pickle.
Yeah. Pickles are a great snack. They're super low calorie. They're filling. They're salty. You can get some sweet flavorings to it, like the famous Dave's sweet and spicy one or whatever it's called. Pickles have a lot of flexibility there.
They're the utility player.
Yes, utility is exactly the word I wanted to use.
They have a lot of utility.
Yes.
And so, as a kid, same way. Didn't like pickles. Always, when we go to McDonald's, no pickle guy. No pickle. Okay? Not a pickle on my sandwich person. Didn't like the flavor. But most of my things with food is texture. So on like a texture basis, I don't actually have anything against pickles. I think pickles add a lot of snap, a lot of crunch to a sandwich. And I'm just going to talk about them in the context of sandwiches today, folks. I would always order no pickles. And if I got pickles, I would just pick them off and I would throw them out because I'm not a pickle person. But then a couple years ago, someone bought me lunch and didn't know my order. And so they just guessed, and I wasn't going to be rude. So I took a bite, and I was like, oh, there's pickles on this. And I was like, you know what? That little crunch went a long way. So I tried it. I'm like, ooh, okay. All right, look. Pickles are okay.
Pickles. I recognize your game.
I see you, Pickles. I see you. So then I was like, all right, I'm going to get me 2 burgers. I'm going to get pickles on them. Nope. Because what I learned is not all pickles are created equal. And the Burger King pickles, they're superior. And I don't know really why. They have more snap. The McDonald's pickles, It ain't it.
Yeah, McDonald's, like, their pickle chips are definitely more flimsy than anything.
They have no structure.
No.
Also, I'm going to describe to you a scenario, and I'm going to ask you if this has ever happened to you. Let's say you have a sandwich. What's your go-to sandwich? Like, you're going to a deli. He's like, hey, get me one of these.
Reuben's.
You're getting a Reuben. Okay. What's your go-to sandwich that might have a pickle on it?
I mean, does on the side count?
I'm talking like on the sandwich.
Pickle on it? Oh, I mean, that has gotta be a fucking Chicago dog, baby. Let's go. Drag it through the garden.
No, bruh. Y'all don't do hot dogs right over there. Y'all people are fucked up.
No, we do hot dogs excellently.
Dirty
Chicago.
water hot dog, ketchup, mustard, bun. That's it.
No.
Yep, that's it.
No. That's miserable. That's miserable existence.
It's because New York's, like, I was talking about this. I don't want to get too far away from the pickles because this is going somewhere. But I was talking about this when I went to Pittsburgh. New York, everything's fast. Fast. Slice of pizza? All right, give me 2 slices. Give me one right now. Don't even heat the other one up. Just put the other one in a box, and I'll take it to go. Get not even a back. Give me a plate, and I'm going, right? Hot dog. I ain't got time for you to fucking run it through the garden or fucking put all the garnish on it like you're fucking dressing something up for your mother, okay? I gotta go. I got a fucking meeting to go to. Give me my dog and I gotta go. Ketchup, mustard, that's it. Little squirt of each.
No.
All the food. And then I went to Pittsburgh and I'm sitting there and it's fucking freezing, by the way, and it's in the snow. We had to walk through the snow to get to this place, and I had a sandwich as big as my fucking head with fries all over it, and I was like, you can't, what are you gonna do with this? You gotta sit in here and you gotta eat it. That's all there is to do. It's gotta stand up to those tough winners and whatever. It's gotta be a filling meal because these are working people. These aren't people that are in a hurry. These are people that gotta have a good hearty meal after a long day of being Pittsburghers.
When we went to GDQ, I had to explain the concept of sitting down at a restaurant to eat to CJ. It was crazy.
What the fuck are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here. All right, listen. So I'm saying you have a Chicago dog, which isn't a sandwich either. You fucked that up.
I agree with that. Hot dogs are not sandwiches. Go on.
Okay, good. We're good. Yeah, and then you take a bite and you have a pickle in there, right? Like a pickle chip I'm talking about.
No, actually, you have a pickle spear in a Chicago dog.
Okay, well, I don't know your fucking customs. You might as well be Scandinavia over there.
And you're immediately casting stones at it, saying, we don't do you haven't even tried one.
I ain't gonna eat it. I'm talking about my relationship with pickles.
CJ, don't even make me bring up what you said to me when you tried deep dish.
What?
You said I can't repeat what you said?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was all right.
That's not what you told me in the moment.
I don't know what I told you in the moment.
I'll repeat it to you off air because you made me swear to you that I would never tell anyone what you said about deep dish.
It's probably a lot of bullshit. But anyway, so yeah, there you go.
You heard it
Pickles.
from the horse's mouth. Only bullshit comes out of this horse's mouth.
You're the horse.
I'm the horse.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. Okay. Pickles. So what I was saying is, have you ever taken a bite of a sandwich that had pickle chips on it and you miss the bite? And so you just end up swallowing a pickle.
Wait, what?
You just end up eating a whole pickle.
Wait. I have so many questions. Okay.
You're holding a sandwich, 2 hands. Put it out in front of you.
Okay. I am. I have.
Okay, you have your 2 hands out in front of you with your sandwich.
Uh-huh.
Okay, then you take a bite. Then you miss the pickle.
You miss the pickle. Okay. You don't miss the sandwich and only eat the pickle. You miss the pickle.
Yeah, so you take a big bite. And you miss the pickle.
Okay.
And so then you have a pickle in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't get that crunch. And so you end up eating a whole pickle.
Wait. Okay, I'm lost again. I take a bite, there's no pickle, but then I have a whole pickle in my mouth?
No. You take a bite.
Okay.
And you don't get the crunch of the pickle because you think you missed it. But what actually happened was the pickle was contained entirely in your bite.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And then you're just eating a whole pickle.
I mean, you're
swallowing it.
You're eating a whole pickle chip. Wait, are you not chewing your food?
Yeah, you got to chew your food. I'm saying, but you missed the pickle.
No, because you chew it up.
Yeah, but you miss it.
No, you don't, because you
Yeah.
chew
You don't
up
get
the
you don't
food
get
in your
that
mouth.
crunch.
Yeah, you do, because you're still chewing the pickle in your
It's
mouth.
in the mush now.
Oh my god.
You're not getting the crunch. So and actually sometimes I just swallow the food, and then I feel like I swallowed a whole pickle, and then I'm like, I don't want pickles anymore because I missed it. I missed the experience. I missed the thing that I wanted.
CJ,
What?
I got 2 words for you.
Chew?
User, yeah, that's 2 words.
Shut up.
User error.
Look, I don't like what you're doing to me on the show. You are trying to make me look crazy.
I'm trying to.
I think my pickle take is perfectly reasonable, so I stopped doing pickles for a while because I swallowed the whole pickle every time.
Why don't you just chew?
I do. I take a bite. Nom 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 nom. Nom nom
Yeah.
nom nom. Yep. And then if I don't get the pickle, I end up swallowing and I'm like, the pickle was
So you only like the crunch of the pickle when it's your front incisor teeth biting it and ripping, like crunching through it. You don't like the crunch of the pickle if you popped a pickle in your mouth and you were chewing it with other
I'm saying
food.
once it's in the whole mush, then you don't get the crunch.
I think you do though. If you're
It's
are
like
you only
crunching through a
getting
pillow.
Are you only getting Burger King pickles?
No, I'm eating other pickles.
Okay.
Like I got like a what do you call it? Like a roast beef sandwich. Had little pickles on there.
Pickles on a roast beef sandwich?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You're interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm
Thank
saying
you.
you get pickles on the sandwich and you're right? I don't like mayo. I can't do mayo. Mayo makes me
I
sick.
know that a lot of people have issues with mayo. But...
Just seeing other people eat mayo makes me sick.
Oh, well, I like dipping I don't do it often, but sometimes I'll get a side of mayo with a burger and fries, and I dip my fries in the mayo. Oh, so
I'm not
good.
actually joking.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I really hate mayo. What we talking about, pickles? So yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
I went and I had pickles. I had a sandwich. So I like the long, thin pickles.
It's the pickle spears. Or wait,
No,
do you
no.
like the flat ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Because
about.
then you can't accidentally get a whole mouthful and swallow. You're always going to get some of that crunch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like spears. I don't like meaty pickles.
Why?
It just...
There's more crunch to it.
Nah, it feels phallic. I don't know.
So you do not like hot dogs?
No, I eat hot dogs.
But they're phallic.
Yeah, but they're hot.
Well, so a hot phallic object you're okay with, but a cold one you're not?
I gotta be honest, I hadn't processed this information ahead of time.
I'm not like, I hope you know, I'm not like challenging you or trying
You
to
are a little bit.
I'm just genuinely trying to understand where the line is drawn.
I have a friend who actually can't eat any phallic food, and I think he's ridiculous. There's just something about having a quarter of a pickle in your mouth that feels, I don't know, unconscionable. Like somehow it would be better if it was a whole pickle.
I'm going to list off a bunch of foods for you that are phallic shaped, and I
Okay.
want you to tell me just quick yes or no. Ready?
All right, yep.
Burritos. That's a big one. Big, girthy.
I don't like burritos, but it's not because they're phallic.
Okay. Bananas.
Yep, favorite fruit.
Popsicles.
Popsicles, love popsicles.
Breadsticks.
Yep,
Sausages.
I know I like sausages.
Churros.
I like churros.
Do you want to tell the story about going to order a churro?
I'll finish this game first.
Okay. Baguettes.
Yeah, it's bread.
How about any like candy bars like Twix, Snickers, Butterfinger?
I don't like nuts.
Okay, say it's Three Musketeers.
Yeah, I like the
Twix. Okay. How about Twinkies?
I don't like caramel either. No, I don't like Twinkies, but that's not phallic.
Carrots.
Yeah, right. The dirtier, the better.
Oh God, this again. Cannoli.
No.
Cucumbers.
No.
Eggplant.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna fucking like just take a bite out of an eggplant.
So what I'm picking up here is there is zero consistency between this whole cold versus hot thing, because you like a lot of cold ones, you like a lot of hot ones. So what is it then about the pickle?
I don't know. Maybe it's circumference.
Is it maybe like you don't like the texture of like the meat of the pickle, and you just kind of like the crunch of the skin?
Yeah, because I said earlier, like, if it was a whole pickle, I'd probably be okay with it.
Right, and you said texture is a big thing.
Yeah.
So that would make sense why you
not into
gravitate.
The meat.
Right, so that would make sense why you gravitate towards like pickle slices and crinkle cuts and chips.
Yeah.
Instead of a whole. See, I could just put a fucking enormous pickle in my mouth and just talk about a good afternoon.
Okay. Churros.
Oh, yes.
You want me to tell the story? So
yes, thank you. I had forgotten already. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, so there's this place by my house. It's called Sabor Mexicante, and I don't think that's actually a word.
It is not. Mexicante is not a word.
So I was like, I heard that they had really good churros, and we were supposed to have churros at this holiday party I went to, but they didn't have any. So I was like, oh, so I was kind of in the mood for some churros. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go in there, but I don't speak any Spanish, and I didn't know. I don't also eat a lot of Mexican food, so I went in there and I was trying to like explain that I don't speak Spanish. She was trying to explain to me that she doesn't speak English, and I was trying to order, but she was just kept saying that she doesn't speak English, and I was like, well, I don't know the Spanish word for churro, and I couldn't figure it out by reading the menu, so I left. Also, I feel like we used to have pictures of the food on the menu, and now we don't have pictures of food anymore.
I love that story.
What?
I just love that story. You going to order a churro.
As it was explained to me, churro is the Spanish word for churro.
Yes.
But I also didn't take Spanish. I took French. There you go.
I just also love the idea of, say I went to an Italian restaurant.
Yep.
Just because I'm at an Italian restaurant, I've got to speak Italian.
They didn't speak English.
They understand the food, though.
She just kept telling me she doesn't speak English.
Yeah, because you went up to her and we're trying to make a conversation about how you don't speak Spanish. So she's probably like, I don't understand what you're saying to me. Just what food do you want?
But I didn't know the word. This show makes me look so stupid. This is like all of my most stupidest donut moments furled out for the world to see.
I just love that story so much. It's so good. Oh, I can't, I just love the idea of, I can't go to the French restaurant. I want to know how to order.
Fuck you. The people at the French restaurant spoke English.
Oh my God. And I bet that if I said,
and when I go to the Italian restaurant, they speak Italian. And when I go to the Indian restaurant, they speak English.
Oh, CJ, I love you so much.
It's not like I'm the angry guy who thinks they have to speak English. I just didn't know how to order because I didn't speak Spanish. Like, don't make it out to be like a racial thing.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I was just like, I need to communicate with you. I don't know how to order. And she was like, I don't speak English. And I'm like, I know.
Oh my God. Have you gone
back
to
Guess
order
what? She did
churro?
know some English. She did know some English because she told me, fuck you.
Whoa, wait. She said fuck you to you?
Yeah, in English.
Okay. This is a new development. We're going to have to rewind.
No. So
what led to cursing at each other?
I don't know, man. I just bring that out in people. I don't know. I think either you love me or you hate me. I think those are the two options.
God. I love that.
I don't know. I was like, I think I just kept trying to explain that I didn't speak. I think I said no habla español, and she would say no habla inglés, and I'm like, okay, well, we can't talk.
I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God.
All right. Okay, so I have this written down next. We're moving on now, by the way. This is a list I have compiled, because I was thinking about this earlier in the week, because I was watching scenes from Moneyball.
Ooh, good movie.
And I was like, I wonder what the top 10 highest grossing sports movies are. Okay? And I was like, oh, this is going to be a great question, right?
Yeah.
So I have the top 10 results. Now, the reason that this was kind of hard is because, for example, the Wikipedia page is fucking useless. Would you consider the Fast and Furious movies to be movies about motor racing?
Only if I was trying to be like an asshole and like tell
Would
people they
you
were
consider
wrong. No.
Forrest Gump to be a movie about football?
No. Just because it has
Okay.
the one scene? No.
Yeah. Would you consider Ben-Hur to be a movie about chariot racing?
I mean, considering it's one of two things I know about the movie, then yes, I would.
Gladiator is on the sports list for being about gladiatorial combat.
Amazing.
So I had to go through the list and actually compile what I thought was a real list.
Hmm.
So, having said that, I have the list here. Name for me what you believe the top 10 sports movies of all time are. Highest grossing.
Okay. So first I want to ask, am I allowed to look up sports movies? Because I might have a hard time in the moment thinking of them, but if not, I'm totally okay with just winging it and going off of this.
Let's see how far you can get by winging it.
Okay. Second question I had.
Mm-hmm.
Will you tell me like, yes, that's on the list, that's number X?
Yes.
Okay. Let's just start with Moneyball.
Moneyball is not on the list.
Whoa.
I
Wow.
know, not
Already.
close.
That's really wow. Okay. Geez. Okay. What's that one movie from like 89? The Rollerball?
Rollerball.
Is that on there?
No.
Okay.
Heathers is a croquet movie.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
It's got more croquet in it than any of the I guess it doesn't have more motorsport stuff than Fast and
Well-
Furious. But.
Well, it depends on what movie we're talking about.
Okay. Talladega Nights.
No.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm already.
Talladega Nights, by the way, was number 47 on the list.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Sandlot.
Sandlot? No, not on the list.
Okay. Draft Day.
No, not on the list.
The Natural.
No.
A League of Their Own.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna just ask a general question.
Yep.
Oh, actually, I got another one off the top of my head. How about
Okay.
Hoosiers?
No.
How about 42?
No.
What the fuck is going on? Okay, I got to start thinking of weird sports or sports that basketball. Coach Carter.
No.
There's no way the Way Back starring Ben Affleck is on there, so I'm not
No.
even going to guess it. More baseball movies. Major League.
No.
Field of Dreams. That's got to be on there.
Field of Dreams? No.
What? The Greatest Game Ever Played.
No.
It's a golf movie starring Shia LaBeouf. What the fuck? Alita Battle Angel.
Alita Battle Angel, by the way, is on here, but it is under motor racing, and I'm not counting it.
Oh, you removed it? Damn.
Yes.
But that was in the top 10 otherwise?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm putting an asterisk next to that. That counts. That counts.
Yeah.
What? Is this adjusted for inflation? I feel like I probably should have asked.
This list does not say it's adjusted for inflation.
Oh, God. Okay, so I got to start thinking more recently then.
The oldest movie on here, I believe, is... Well, I'm not going to say that. How about this? I will give you 3 of the movies on here are boxing movies.
Boxing movies. Okay. All right. Rocky.
No.
Rocky 2.
No.
Rocky 3.
Rocky 3 is number 7.
Yes. Okay, 1 second. Let me note this.
All right, there's 2 boxing movies left.
Rocky 4.
Yes, it is number 4.
Yes. Rocky 5.
No.
Rocky Balboa.
No.
Creed.
No.
Creed 2.
No.
Creed 3.
Yes, Creed 3 is number 5. All right, that is all the boxing movies.
Yes, let's go. Okay, all right. Like, thank God you just told me no more because I was about to go Cinderella Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, I got one. Seabiscuit.
No.
What?
No. I would have counted that too.
That was such a good. I've guessed 24 movies and I've gotten 3.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. How many baseball movies are on there?
1.
1 baseball movie. Oh, God. What baseball movie? I already said Moneyball. I said Sandlot, Major League, The Natural, A League of Their Own.
I'm really sorry.
Rookie of the Year.
This is not a baseball movie. I thought it was a different movie.
It's not a baseball movie?
No, I'm sorry.
So there's no baseball movies on there?
No. Okay, also, Rocky is now number 10.
Oh, sweet.
I thought
Yes!
Babe. I thought when it said Babe, it was the movie about Babe Ruth.
Not the movie about the pig?
It's the movie about the pig.
Never seen that movie. I just learned recently it's about a pig that wants to be a dog.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So no baseball movies.
No baseball movies. 2 martial arts movies.
All right. Let me take a crack at that. Karate Kid.
Yes, number 2.
Which Karate? Karate Kid 1984 or whatever.
No.
Karate Kid 2010 or whatever.
No.
Okay, other martial arts movies. I'm not going to go through and do Karate Kid 2, I'll say, because that's the only other one I think. Okay. I'm not going to go through and name all the other Karate Kids because there's no way.
Sure. It is not another Karate Kid.
Okay, another martial arts movie. Never Back Down.
No.
Dragon Ball GT or whatever it was called.
No, but Dragon is in the title.
Dragon is in the title?
Yeah.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
No.
Fuck. Do you like dragons, CJ?
In general?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're all right.
You like dragging my balls on your face? Let's go! I got him! All right, back to business. Dragon. What? Movies with dragon in the title. What? Sports movie. Martial arts movie. Way of the Dragon. Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon. There you go. Number 1.
Really?
Yeah, I guess. Enter the Dragon.
Is that a Bruce Lee movie?
$400 million, yes.
Oh,
all right,
million.
So you have number 3, which is a football movie.
Okay.
You need number 6, which is a football movie.
Okay.
You need 8 and 9, which are basketball movies.
Okay. Thank you for that. That will make this a lot better. All right. Football movies. Okay. The Longest Yard.
Nope.
Okay. Oh, God. I was going to guess there's no way Little Giants or whatever that one is.
No, not Little Giants.
So, I'm guessing same with Mighty Ducks then.
No Mighty Ducks.
Oh, I can't believe Miracle isn't on there.
No Miracle.
Wow. Okay. So football. Oh, Leatherheads. That was a football movie. What? Invincible. No, wait. Is it called Invincible? What's the Mark Wahlberg one where he's a Philadelphia Eagles walk-on?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. No.
Okay. We Are Marshall.
No.
Remember the Titans.
Great movie? No.
Whoa. What other football movies are there? Waterboy.
No.
Wow. This is nuts. I feel like I've named almost...
I believe it won an Academy Award.
Oh, geez. Okay. Won an Academy Award. Blindside.
Yes.
All right. That has to be number 3, right?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Number 6, number 8, and number 9.
Right. Blindside I had like purposely tried to blot out of my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Blindside. Can you tell me if this other football movie is pre or post 9/11?
Okay. It is pre
9/11 football movies. Oh God. So it can't be Friday Night Lights. And it can't be The Old Longest Yard because that one's already been told no. Rudy.
No, not Rudy.
What?
All right.
Oh.
Tom Cruise.
Oh, Jerry Maguire.
Yep.
Oh, geez. See?
All right. There's 2 more.
Yeah, 2 basketball movies. It's not Hoosiers. It's not Coach Carter. It's not The Way Back. What are some of Air Bud?
No, not Air Bud.
Oh, man. Other basketball movies. Are they pre or post 9/11?
One of them is pre, the other one's post.
Oh, geez. That's the worst answer I wanted. That's the last answer I wanted.
I know.
Okay. Post 9/11 basketball movies. There's one movie about a coach at like Texas A&M, and I don't remember the name. That can't be one of them, though.
No, you have to go more broad. This is a huge movie you're missing.
A huge Space Jam.
Correct.
Was that the pre 9/11 one?
Yes.
And then it can't be Space Jam 2 because that was a COVID release. Which was that 8 or 9? Was that Space Jam?
That was 9. So number 8, I'm going to tell you, I don't think you're going to get it. It is a Japanese animated sports film.
Oh, okay. So it's like the basketball version of like Haikyuu or whatever. It was
called The First Slam Dunk.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
They have a documentary about that?
I guess so.
Whoa.
All right. So, yeah, you did pretty good.
I think I did horribly.
You got 9.
Yeah, well, I'm looking, but I had 34 guesses that I noted.
Well,
that 34 wrong guesses that I noted. And I had to have so many hints. That was a hard list. Whoa.
That was hard to put together, by the way. Go look at the Wikipedia page for highest grossing sport films. It is fucking awful. Here's their top 10. You ready?
Yeah.
Furious 7.
I'm looking at the list now. This is horrible.
Forrest Gump, Fast 5, Cars 2, Gladiator, and Pegasus 2.
Whoa. You skipped out on a lot of Fast and Furious movies there.
Fast and the Furious 6, F9, Fast X, and then Forrest Gump.
And The Fate of the Furious. And Cars 2.
Yeah, I said Cars 2.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
And then Cars, Alita Battle Angel, fucking Enter the Dragon, Cars 3, Fast and Furious. Yeah, like, this isn't a fucking Real Steel.
Real Steel's okay. Real Steel, that is a boxing movie.
No, it's a robot movie.
That's a sports movie.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
When you make the test, you can make your rules.
Have you seen Real Steel?
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
I saw it in theaters. Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's a sports movie.
Like, they consider the Disney movie fucking Planes to be a movie about air racing.
Oh my God, there are some good ones in here.
The Color of Money is considered a cute.
Yeah, that's a pool movie.
Oh, I thought The Color of Money was the Wall Street movie. Tokyo Drift is not a movie about the sport of drifting.
That's amazing. $1 Million Baby, just barely missing number 11 by your standards.
Yeah, I know. Sheepdog Trials, Babe.
I can't believe you said Real Steel is not a boxing movie, is not a sports movie.
It's a sci-fi movie about a robot.
About a boxing robot. First off, it's not like the robot is the main character. The main character is Hugh Jackman, who is a retired boxer who has to box.
I know the plot of the movie.
He has to box in the movie. It is a boxing movie.
No.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, top 10 grossing sports series and franchises. What's number 10 without looking?
What's number 10 without looking?
Yeah.
Well, it's not Fast and the Furious. It's not Cars.
No, that's number 1. That's number 3.
It's not Rocky.
That's number 2. You know what's number 4? Dragon Ball.
Jesus Christ. It's not Space Jam.
That's number 7.
All right. How many guesses do I get?
I'm just going to say 3 more guesses, and it is car related.
Death Race?
Nope. That's number 16.
The Cannonball Run?
Nope. That's number 11.
I'm looking for 10?
Yeah.
Fucking Herbie.
Yeah!
Fucking Herbie, dude.
I don't know why I picked out Herbie of the whole list to ask you about.
Yeah,
man, that's what a messed up list.
Yeah, it's stupid. Wikipedia, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I think, CJ, you should also be a bit ashamed of yourself for saying Real Steel is not a sports movie.
This concludes the saddest chapter in American history.
Let's talk about the movie we're watching today, though.
Yeah, Mean Girls.
Mean Girls.
Let me tell you about this movie, y'all. I love quotable movies. I love dialogue that's really quotable and memorable. And I think this movie has some of the most quotable, memorable dialogue ever. Like, it's up there. And I think the more time that goes on, this is going to be more of a landmark. I don't want to say like Oscar caliber landmark, but I'm saying like a cultural landmark film.
I feel like it's already there.
I know, but I think it's going to become more and more of one. Right? There's just like some things only time can give you more perspective on. And the whole concept of what a mean girl is sort of like elusive, I would say, in like culture prior to Mean Girls. I'm not saying the idea of a girl bully didn't exist, but like the archetype of like what Regina George is, I don't think it exists as prevalent in like the cultural stratosphere. Like the Heathers, like that is present, right? She's the bitchy mean girl, right? But I'm saying like in terms of like more like mainstream. And I think that the other problem with Heathers is a good movie. And I'm not saying it's not. I don't want to take anything away from Heathers. I love Heathers. But I feel like this movie is a lot more quotable. And that's why it's going to it stays with you a little bit. It's sort of a stick to your ribs sort of proposition, right? Just like, yeah, it makes you laugh and then it like sticks with you. As far as my relationship with the film, I saw it. I didn't like it. I was a stupid young guy, not interested in Mean Girls. But that movie kind of grew on me as I grew up, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this movie is really funny. And all of those like movies that I wanted to see at the time, I don't hardly remember anything about them. Like there was like a period from like 2009 to like 2014 where I saw basically every movie that came out in theaters, and I don't remember hardly any of them until you tell me the name of them. I remember one, I think it's called Knowing. It's a Nicolas Cage movie about the end of the world. And there's a flaming moose in it, and that's all I remember about that movie, is this flaming moose. So I think that one of the things that has really going for it is it has a lot of staying power. I went and saw the Mean Girls play on Broadway. I went with my my ex-girlfriend. She was my girlfriend at the time. She took me to Top of the Rock, and I have a huge fear of heights, so that was fun. We went to the, I think it was the August Wilson Theater on Broadway, and we saw it, and it was a great time. And then we walked back to the train station, and she wore flip-flops, and her feet were barking. So don't wear flip-flops when you go to the city or to Disney World. So yeah, well, what's your experience? What's your read on the situation?
I've never seen this movie. I've seen clips throughout the years. It was surprising to me to hear you say like you feel like this movie's only going to grow in cultural pervasiveness. Because to me, like as someone who's never seen this movie, I feel like all I heard in middle school and high school were quotes from this movie. This movie, I feel like I probably know every scene of, despite never having seen it or actually watched most of the scenes, solely because of the fact of how often it's been quoted or referenced in my life. And maybe it was just where I grew up, where I went to school. Everyone always quoted this movie, and there's so many quotes, like just off the top of my head, like that's so fetch. There's the whole, I think it's this movie's like, I'm not just a regular mom, I'm a cool mom. There's just so much. I know of random plot lines. I know the whole math team thing, mainly because I was on math team in high school.
You were?
Yeah, I was the captain. We can talk more about that later, but math team's no joke, CJ.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never seen this movie, but of course, growing up with it, like in the same era that it was huge, I know so much about it, and it's constantly quoted, and I see images of it like turned into memes and everything online everywhere. So I'm excited to finally watch it. Finally get to see. I know how it ends, of course, like it's a very famous ending. But like I'm ready to finally experience this movie.
All right. Well, absolutely. Do you have any expectations?
I'm expecting it to be good and funny, but I'm expecting, let's see, probably I'm going to go 13% of the jokes gonna be horribly dated and not funny anymore, but the remaining 87% I think are gonna be real solid. What else do I expect? I expect my favorite character to be Rachel McAdams.
Okay.
And I expect my favorite scene to be the 8th scene of the movie.
Okay.
So we're going to keep track. We're going to count scenes until we get to number 8.
Exterior land day. A young woman is coming out of the grass.
I'm making a note right now so that I don't forget to keep track of scenes.
Sure.
8th scene. Was it good?
Was it good? That's right.
I don't know. I don't think I have too much in terms. I'm expecting to see people in it be like, oh, no way, so-and-so's in this. Like, I know that Tim Meadows is in it as, like, I think the principal.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I know Amy Poehler and Tina Fey are in it, and Tina Fey's involvement with the production of it. Like, she helped write it. She did write it.
I think so.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited.
Awesome. All right. So, for all you cool cats listening at home, thank you for listening to the pre-show. If you want to listen to the companion audio track for the movie Mean Girls, the link for which can be found in the description, you can go ahead and pause your podcast when I say so. For everyone else that either has seen Mean Girls and doesn't need the refresher, or just doesn't want to listen to the companion audio track this week, you can just keep on listening and we'll pick up where we left off. But if you want to listen to the companion audio track, you can stop the podcast right now.
I was so happy to get to math class. I mean, I'm good at
Man, I feel like I haven't watched a high school movie in forever, so this is nuts seeing.
We just watched Heathers.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
I've only had one.
How do you like Christmas music, CJ?
I mean,
Oh my god. The thigh slap. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This is painful.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the film is Okie Dokie. It's been like a week for us, but it's been moments for you. I figured out we don't have to actually reintroduce ourselves because continuity-wise, we haven't left.
Exactly. We don't even need to be like, now, we just watched the movie 3 days ago, and you guys paused it. Like, we've been doing this for a while. It makes sense. They're all just going in a line.
Yeah, exactly. So nothing has changed. We're still getting used to this, folks. You know, this has been several months at this point, but we're still getting used to this. What have you been doing in your time away from me?
I've been reveling in the time away from you.
Wow, rude.
That's a great question. I've been really busy the past week or so with, work and been reading a lot. I was just reading one of the Dune books, so I wrapped that up. For those interested in the series, I wrapped up God Emperor of Dune. Then I started reading another book about it's a DMing book for 5e. So been reading a bunch of D&D stuff related to that, and went to a Cubs game, and it's just been a busy.
Did they win?
No, they did not win that game. So they are 2-1 this year when I've gone to games.
That's good though.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep track throughout the season, see if I'm a boon or a burden.
I used to have like a streak where whenever I went, they only won. I had like a 10-game streak of that. That was pretty cool.
Wow. I didn't know you had been to so many Cubs games.
Ha! Yeah, got him. Yeah.
What have you been up to, CJ?
Doing a lot of housework. It's really hot today, and as such, I'm eating a popsicle right now. Maybe people are going to say, like, hey, I'm not a professional podcaster, and that's probably accurate. I do like to eat popsicles and Raisinets while I do this podcast. I'm more so eating a popsicle. Well, I'm doing it because we were talking about how you don't eat snacks during the movie, so to complete the trilogy, I am now eating a snack during the third part of this podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm completing the meme. I won't eat in the pre or post show next week, but I'm doing it now.
So I'm expecting lots of lip smacking noises I'm going to have to edit out.
I think I have a pretty good noise gate, and I'm eating off to the side.
Okay.
So I also have a plate that I'm hovering the popsicle over so that I can keep it away from the mic.
Gotcha.
So it's really hot today. It was 94, but it feels like 104. And popsicles just hit right sometimes, Do you like popsicles?
I mean, yeah. I can't tell you the last time I had one, though. I don't really get them for myself or get them when I have the opportunity for them too often. I like them, though. I think that some popsicles are pretty bad. I think that some are, like anything, there's a wide range, but I think the bad ones are really bad.
Okay.
But the best ones, I don't know. I've never eaten a popsicle and been like, wow, this was incredible. Guys, you got to try this. I've never had a reaction like that to a popsicle. It's always, I don't know. We talked super briefly before we started recording today about popsicles, and I mentioned that I have really sensitive teeth to temperature, specifically cold stuff. Mm-hmm. So I would rather eat other cold stuff. Popsicles specifically, you have to bite into if you don't want to just sit there licking it forever and have it melt all over your hand. It's like bite into them, and it's just not a wholly pleasant experience for me. So I like them, but they're not my favorite.
All right.
What about you? And also, what kind of popsicle are you eating right now?
That's part of it. I'll get to that in a minute. But I agree with you, and I have very sensitive teeth, especially on the bottom and the front and the top. Like my front teeth in particular are very sensitive to cold, and it used to be worse. It used to be worse in the back teeth, but I got a lot of that fixed. And so, yeah, extreme temperature differences are very painful. But it's been so hot here, and honestly, someone said, "Hey, you know what would really hit the spot right now? A popsicle." And I was like, "Yeah, it actually would." And it was really hot, and it was like 80 degrees in the house, and I was like, I'm going to go get a popsicle, and I did, and it was really refreshing. And I gotta say, I never buy popsicles. It's not like I have popsicles in my house. I'm sort of exactly the same way, except yesterday someone said, hey, what would really hit the spot? A popsicle, and I agreed. And yeah, it really does. It's really, really hot today and yesterday, and it's going to be really hot tomorrow. And this is really like cooling you down. I don't know why specifically, but it's awesome.
Now,
So
I don't want to get too into the science of it, but the why specifically would be the popsicle is cold. So when you put it in you, it cools you down.
thank you for that, Bill Nye.
You're welcome.
I'm throwing this out there. Yes, cold cools you down. But like ice cream on a hot day, I don't feel like refreshed. Right? And there's something about like juice flavored cold. Like lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're working out in the yard and you get a tall glass of lemonade.
Maybe it has to do more with, citrus palates go better with hot weather than dairy,
And that could be.
What kind of popsicle are you eating right now, though?
I'm getting to the story.
Oh, I'm so impatient, though, CJ.
I know. So I bought a 3-pack. It has 3 kinds of flavors in it, right?
Okay.
Orange, red, and purple.
Okay.
Or as the box claims, orange, cherry, and grape. But
orange, cherry, and purple.
yeah, it's purple, red, and orange. I don't know. The flavor profile is mixed at best. So I was like, I only like one of those. I only like the orange. I don't like purple, and I don't like red. But I know that mi madre will also really like having some popsicles, so I got her some, and she likes the purple and the red. She doesn't like the orange. I'm like, this is perfect. There's 18 in a box, so I did the math and said, okay, 6, 6, and 6, right? 6 of each flavor.
How dare you invoke the devil on this podcast?
I know. Hey, I know. So I get them home, and I pull them out of the box, and I'm going to get an orange one. And I pull them out of the box, and I'm like, what? Now, these are just Popsicle brand, the standard Popsicle, right? Stick, item, a juice pop residue, and white packaging.
Mm-hmm. I know the one.
I can't tell which color is in which.
You got to get out like a big old flashlight or something.
Yeah, I'm holding it up to the window to let it shine through.
No, CJ. The sun is not bright enough. You have to use a man-created flashlight that powered by a 9-volt.
Yeah. Next time I'll use a man-created flashlight. I hold it up to the window, and I find out that I only got 4. There were 4 orange, and there were 4 fucking red, and the rest were all purple. And I felt disappointed because, like, push comes to shove, I would eat a red, but I'll never eat purple.
You know what's funny?
What?
Is personally, orange, worst flavor.
Mm-mm.
For those popsicles, yeah, it is sociopathic to have that be your first one and not like cherry or grape. Cherry especially, red flavors in almost everything, top 3.
And everyone has always said this to me. And I spent a long time trying to figure out why I hate red so much. So when I was a kid, I had to take a lot of medicine. I was sick a lot. I grew out of it. But I basically was born with like everything was not right. And then eventually I just hit puberty and it was like, all right, now everything's fine. All of this stuff is now resolved. But when I was a kid, I had to take a lot of medicine. And all the medicine was that cherry flavor. And I just hard associate all of like that medicine stuff with that cherry flavor, and I just can't enjoy it.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I think that's the best explanation I can get. I was like, can we get something that's orange flavor?
That makes sense. Still, though, the orange flavor, not good. Not good.
Wrong.
Not good. So why is this when you get, I know you said you don't really get popsicles, but did you get these specific popsicles, the original brand popsicle, because those are the types of popsicles you like?
No, it's because that's what the store had.
Okay. Because personally, if I had to get a popsicle, and I could see maybe some people arguing that these are less popsicles and more akin to like flavored ice or snow cones, but push pops or freeze pops. That's what push pops or something different.
Damn.
Freeze pops. Freeze pops to me, that's the
like flavor ice.
Yeah, Pop Ice, I think is the brand, or Flava Ice, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Those to me, that is a popsicle. Like that is the go-to summer. It's hot out. Let me put something cool in my body to cool me down.
I really like those, but they have one crippling flaw.
What's that?
You have to cut the top
No, you
to
don't.
open. Yeah, you do.
No, you can rip it off with your teeth.
No.
I can't tell you how many times I've ripped it off with my teeth.
Well, maybe that's why you have sensitive teeth.
Maybe, actually. I do use my teeth for a lot.
Yeah.
But, okay, hold on a second.
You were in college.
I did go to college, yes.
Did you ever meet someone that used to open their beers, their not twist off beers with their teeth?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I've met a few people like that.
Oh, no. I used to know how to light a match on my teeth, but I haven't done that in close to a decade. I bet I could, you give me some matches, some Strike Anywhere matches, I bet I could get that going again within like 3 attempts.
Brother,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So you say that the big problem with the flavor ice is freeze pops is that you have to cut them open.
Yeah, and then your scissors get sticky.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never had that issue. Do you ever clean your scissors?
Yeah, all the time because they get sticky.
I guess that's just not as much of a deterrent for me for having some flavor ice.
Hey, listen, at some point, I just got tired of buying kitchen shears, okay?
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. That's the popsicle discourse. Not crazy. I was just really annoyed that they put them in like opaque white wrappers with no labels.
Yeah, I'm surprised that, I guess it's because they've been doing it for so long that it just doesn't matter. And they're like, they'll figure it out.
And I gotta be honest, people might be like, oh, it saves money. This box of popsicles was like $9. Like, they could afford to at least print on them what flavor is which.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. Like, they could do that, but they're just like, no, we haven't done that before. They don't need it. Let them fend for themselves.
I need it. All right, so that was that. Do you have anything?
What is this arrow you had me add to the show notes?
The other day, so I'm sitting on my porch. I was waiting for someone to call me because I had to go run an errand, but I had to get the go-ahead to go do it because we weren't sure if it was going to be ready for me to do. And then I had to go pick somebody up. So I was waiting for 2 phone calls. And so I'm sitting on my front porch, basically assured that any minute now I'm going to get a phone call and I'm just going to jump in my car. And the neighbor cat shows up. And the neighbor cat is named Arrow. And Arrow is a outdoor cat. It's like a little white cat. His owners aren't the best at letting him in when he wants to go in. And I used to think, oh, well, that's, I didn't say that I don't want to say that they were negligent. I'm just saying, like, if it were my cat, I would constantly be checking to see if he came home. Or I'd have a mechanism to find out when he came home. And sometimes Arrow, like, sleeps next to the door because he can't get inside. And that also makes me sad. And it's one of the reasons I don't want to have an outdoor cat. Also, just I would be beside myself if the cat never came home. I would never know why. So I don't have an outdoor cat. Buddy is not an outdoor cat. Buddy is my cat. So Arrow comes up, and it's kind of cool having a neighborhood cat. He's friendly with all the people, but Arrow is not very friendly. He is friendly, but then he's not. Once he's done with you, he doesn't give you any warning. He then gets immediately pissed off, and then he wants you to leave. He doesn't want to leave. He wants you to leave. So the other day, I was petting him, and he was loving on me, and he was like rubbing up against my jeans, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I love this, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, this is cool. He's being a cool cat," and he was totally fine. And then inexplicably, he just left, which he never does. Usually, he'll hiss at you, or claw at you, or bite you, or whatever, or hiss at you, or click at you, chirp at you. No, he ran off, and I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I got the phone call. I was like, hey, you need to go run the errand. So I had to go run an errand, and then I had to get another phone call to pick somebody up. I got the phone call to go do the errand, so I go to get in my car, and Arrow is sitting behind my right back tire, and he won't move. And so I'm like, come on, Arrow. And he's like, "Rrrr." I'm like, dude, come on, I gotta go. "Rrrr." And then I'm like, dude, you gotta, and I took one step forward, and he was like, how like cats do like that snorting thing so that they can hiss faster? He was pissed the fuck off, and I was like, God damn it. So like I got a broom and I'm trying to shush him. He was gonna run up that broom like it was like Attack on Titan. Like I was a Titan. He was gonna fucking kill me. So I threw the broom, and he goes right behind the tire. Doesn't miss a beat. I get in the car, and I turn the car on, thinking, oh, maybe he'll be spooked and he'll leave. Nope. I pull the car as far forward as possible. So there's a car to my left, and that's the only other car in the driveway. And I'm parked in front of my garage, and so there's like a little room to pull up, but there's no other way to get out if he doesn't move. So I can see him in my rear view camera now that I've pulled forward a little bit, and he's not moving. He is like, fuck you, I'm not moving. So I get out and I say, come on, you gotta fucking move, dude. And then he looks at me, he hisses at me and growls, and then slowly saunters away.
Wow.
And I'm like,
the
okay.
attitude.
I go run the errand, and like I said, I had to come back afterwards. And I park it, and from across the street, and it's fucking Arrow. And I'm like, I've had enough of you. Go away. I don't want to be your friend. And my hands are full. And he comes right up to me, and he's loving on my legs, and he's purring, and he's happy. So he's my next door neighbor's cat. And so they come out, and they're like, hey, Arrow, because they're about to leave, and they're going to let him in if he wants to go in. He runs over there. He hisses at me as he leaves. Runs over. She picks him up. He's like all loving on her face. He's licking her, and I'm like, you fucking asshole. And they're like, hi, CJ. And I'm like, hi, neighbors. What's going on? And they're like, not much. And I was like, yeah, me and Arrow have been hanging out. And their faces lit up. They're like, you did? And I'm like, you were? Yeah, we were hanging out. He was on my lap. He was whatever. And then he decided he was done. And they're like, ha, 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 ha. And I'm like, yeah. Then he went behind my car and wouldn't move. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah. Then he bit my broom and was going to attack me. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah. And then I had to yell at him just to get him to walk across the street. Ha, that's so adorable. I wish we were out here so we could have taken pictures. I was like, yeah. And this is like a couple that's like my age or maybe a little older, like a year or two older. And I was like, yeah, uh-huh. And she's like, oh, well, that's so great. And I was like, yeah, I went in the house, locked the door. I'm like, I ain't going out to see that fucking cat. So I don't know where I stand with Arrow, but that's the update with Arrow. That's the story anyway. He is cool, and I know that he gets rid of some of the neighborhood mice. He tried to attack a groundhog the other day. I forgot. When I put Arrow on the story, that was before the groundhog thing. So I've got groundhogs, and Buddy and Arrow are kind of working together to scare them off. Now, Buddy can't leave the farthest he can get is my little screen porch, but the groundhogs don't understand that he can't get to them. So he makes a fuss in the window and they run off. But I've got 2 or 3 groundhogs now trying to like set up base in my yard. Someone asked me if I live on a fucking farm. I'm like, no, dude, I live in the city. It's just, I don't know, we have groundhogs. I don't know how to say it. I have a yard. There's groundhogs in the yard. I don't care if they're in the yard. I care if they're building or tunneling under my retaining wall. Because if they break the retaining wall, then that's like a lot of money to fix, which I don't have. So, yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Fucking groundhogs.
With my all the groundhogs in my retaining wall, I know exactly how it is.
Shut up. You have raccoons or something, don't you?
First off, I have like a bunch of cats who come by, and raccoons and possums, and of course squirrels, but a black squirrel, which are uncommon in my area. And my roommate saw a deer the other week, which is crazy that a deer was out by me. Like there's some woods near me, and there's, I see deer in there somewhat often, but this deer was venturing pretty far from the woods to be by me. It's just, it was crazy seeing this huge ass deer walk through my backyard, even though I just saw a picture of it. But no, we have cats, which I mentioned. They are all named Stevie, and there's one Stevie who specifically comes by pretty often. I put out some food for him. And there are raccoons, Simon and Art. They come by every day looking for the cat food for Stevie. And Art recently gave birth to 3 baby raccoons, so I see those occasionally. There's a possum named Frankie who comes by. He doesn't come by for the cat food. I just see him walking by my backyard all the time.
That's good.
And the deer, I don't remember what... My roommate was the one who spotted the deer, so he gets first dibs on naming it. But there's also a skunk who I see all the time that I named Bernice.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like a freaking wildlife preserve in my backyard. It's awesome.
We had skunks, and I've been in this apartment for 9 years, almost 10 years, and we had skunk problems basically the whole time. And not problems, but we get a skunk every month that sprays, every 2 months that sprays. It doesn't bother me because I can't smell, but the only effective deterrent we have for kind of getting these animals to leave is the hose. So I remember I got a call. It's like, hey, can you go spray the thing in the yard? And I go get the hose and I spray it and then they leave. Right. It was nighttime and me and it might have been my stepdad. We're sitting on the deck and he's like, I think a skunk sprayed. Now remember, I can't smell. So without even looking into it, I go get the hose and I go downstairs and I see something move and I spray it. It was, let's say, not a skunk, but someone who did not want to spring for some quality grass who got a blast of water.
Wait, what?
They were smoking that herb.
Gotcha.
Fucking stems and seeds.
I mean, wait. Hold on a second. I might have missed something.
Okay.
So you sprayed water out thinking it was a skunk.
Yeah.
And you hit people who were smoking pot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First off, you don't have a sense of smell. So how did you know they were there?
Did you not pay attention to the story?
I must have missed that part. I must have zoned out.
I was sitting on the porch with somebody.
Yeah. Oh, they complained?
They complained. So I went to go get the hose. And I even mentioned I don't have a sense of smell. Also, there was no lights on down there, so I saw movement, and I just let it go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I would have been pissed. I'd be like, man, you put it out. I need a lighter now. I lost my lighter when you did that.
I think it's just rude if you're trying to do something covertly, if you're trying to hide the fact that you're smoking. Because this was 9 years ago. It's not like now where it's legal.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to hide the fact that you're smoking and you don't want people to find out, don't do it underneath a deck with a bunch of people on the deck.
Yeah. And the smell of weed is so distinct too. They will know immediately.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I know that people conflating the smell of weed and skunks has been a thing forever, but if you know the smell of weed, you know the smell of weed. There's no mistaking skunk from weed. So
this is what I would say. If you smell something and you don't know what it is, but you have skunk loaded in your brain, you might go to skunk before you go to weed. If you're not expecting someone to be smoking weed, but you know you have a skunk problem, it's like when you hear hoofbeats in Central Park, think horses and not zebras.
No, see, because to me, I don't know. Maybe it's just because of my weed rotted brain. I would never confuse skunk for weed.
Yes, again, because you smoke and you're around it, but I can't smell and he's not around it.
I think what we need to do, CJ, is we need to develop some sort of clothing. Oh my God! Wait. Oh, okay. Hold on. This might transition.
I thought you were gonna say we should make a game for our Patreon in the future called Skunk or Weed.
Okay. This is much more interesting than what I was gonna say. So how would this work? Are we gonna create some sort of smelling device? One of those things that releases a smell into the room?
It doesn't matter because I can't play.
Okay.
We would, I guess, buy several kinds of spray that claim to be skunk or weed scented.
Mm-hmm.
And we would need a third party to acquire the items. But then I would spray them, and then you would tell me which one you think it is.
Oh,
we close your eyes.
Thing.
All right, are you sure?
Yeah, 100%. That would be an easy. I'm so I don't know if I told you about this recently. So I don't know if you know this. You know Cosmic Brownies, right?
Is that the Little Debbie's cake?
Yeah. Little Debbie's or whatever the brand is. So I don't know if you know this. There are 2 separate Cosmic Brownie boxes that they sell in the store.
I only know the one everyone knows. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, there's the normal one, but then there's a value sized box.
Okay.
They're like the same thing. You would see them both and be like, oh, yeah, it's a Cosmic Brownie. So people don't realize this. The ones in the value box, the big box, they're actually different. The Cosmic Brownie, when everyone thinks of them, they typically think of them with kind of that crease in the middle so you can break it apart into 2. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So the ones in the big box actually don't have that. They're just 1 bar, no deviation in it, no whatever. And also they're slightly bigger, like millimeters bigger on all sides. And I only know the size difference in that it's slightly bigger because I held 2 in my hand very recently because my roommate, he loves Cosmic Brownies. And he was the one who actually pointed out to me that they're different, the big box and the small box. And he said he was confident that he would be able to tell the difference in a blind taste test between a small box and a big box brownie and tell which one was which. He was confident. So that weekend, I went and picked up big box and small box Cosmic Brownies, and he, Jade, and myself, we all put on blindfolds and we did a blind taste test to guess which was which. Do you want to guess which of the 3 of us got it correct?
You.
Yeah.
He didn't get it right?
No, he didn't. He got it reversed, and so did Jade.
Wow.
I know.
Wow, that's his game too.
Now, I'm going to be honest here, CJ.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I cheated.
Ha! Okay.
Now, this is going to be a revelation to the 2 of them if they listen to this, because I didn't tell them the full story on how I got it right. So the methodology on how we did the blind taste test was flawless. We couldn't see. It was like everything was ran correctly, but I went last. Okay. So I was able to hear, because my roommate went first and she was the one who was so confident, and then Jade went and then I went. So I paid attention to their comments on it as they were trying it. And they made specific comments about the small one. It seems like their comments about the small one were that it tasted fudgier. They thought that was the big one because they, at least my roommate was convinced, I think that the big box tastes better. So he was saying that, oh, this one tastes a lot fudgier. And I think Jade made a comment as well about the small box one tasting fudgier. So when I went to try them, sure enough, the first one I tried was pretty fudgy, and the second one was a bit cakier than like a fudgy brownie. So I was like, well, I mean, this has got to be the small box then. So I did it. I said small box. I was right.
You did cheat.
And I don't know if it's cheating.
I think it is.
I think it's just using the full extent of my knowledge at hand. You know,
yes.
It would be cheating. You know, it's like saying, is it cheating to study for an exam beforehand? No.
You are really not equating the 2, are you?
Now, how about this? Speech class. You are last, and you learn from the mistakes of the other people in your class giving speeches, what to and what not to do. And you focus on that when you give your own speech. Is that cheating?
Those are 2 different things. One is a subjective thing that can be graded in a multitude of ways. The other is an objective truth. There is one brownie that came from this box, and there is a brownie that came from that box. That is an objective reality. Okay, listen. Imagine the 3 of you did an eye exam, okay?
Yeah.
And you're standing in a row, 1, 2, 3. Roommate is the farthest away. Jade is the second farthest away, and you're the closest to the exam. You don't move while the 3 of them are while roommate conducts the exam. You and Jade don't move, but you get to watch roommate take his exam from the mark. Then Jade goes. Jade does her exam from the mark. You have been standing watching them take the test while closest to the exam. Heretofore, you have the biggest advantage because you got to see what they said and you got to be closest to the results.
See, I don't know if that works as an analogy though, because That, see, I don't know. If it would be more, in my mind, it would be more fitting if it was like, I heard them describing the shape of the letters and it's like, oh, it's a pointy letter. I was like, oh, it's a pointy letter. Oh, then it's going to be V, you know? Mm-hmm. To me, in my mind, that's what it's more akin to. And also, could you not say that?
Did you say Nazi? What?
What? No. Could you not say?
You just said it again.
Could you not say that? I did it again. Could you not say that the
Stop it.
teacher, like in the example of the speech, you said objective versus subjective. Could you not say that there's an objective grading system that the teacher holds people to? You know, that you're fighting against?
There's a rubric that they apply to, but there is no objectively correct answer to the question, how was that person's speech? There are things that you can grade about it, you can critique them, you can say, you can offer criticisms, right? But there's no, if you don't do this thing, if you don't say these words like this, you failed. There's no, if you don't, no, because it could be part of the speech. You're talking to an award-winning public speaker. Do you realize that?
So, okay.
You're arguing. Yeah, exactly,
but
bitch.
I'm still like, with the food, you know, I still did the taste test. I still was able to try it and be like, this one tastes fudgier.
You cheated.
I don't know if it's cheating, CJ.
You did.
I don't know if it's cheating.
I do. I'm sorry, you don't. I do. I'll tell you did.
I don't know. I think it was more I learned right before I went that people find that the first one is fudgier, and then while I was blindfolded, I could tell which one tasted fudgier.
You had access to information that the other two did not have.
Maybe. But hey, if I studied for an exam and they didn't, it's their fault.
All right, how about this? We'll let Jade and your roommate decide. How about that? And when I win, I want my Rubik's Cube.
Nope, not agreeing to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Real quick, also, can I get a clean, without any words on either side, can you say roommate?
Roommate.
Thank you.
Why? What did you...
I'm going to go back and edit that in over when you said roommate before each time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. CJ, speaking of eating things, though, I had one other thing I wanted to share with you.
Okay.
Now, it's in the show notes. I don't want you to open the link yet.
Oh, should I open the show notes?
Yeah. You should... What? What? Is that why you're like, is there anything else to talk about? Like, yeah, we have other things to talk about, CJ. It's in the show notes. Arrow. Oh, I see. So...
Where was I?
I don't know.
Okay, hang on. Go ahead.
So,
don't click this link.
Not yet.
Don't open. Okay.
So I think you got slightly spoiled or beaten to the punch on your edible butt plug. This is not an edible butt plug that you're linked to, but it's something very similar. CJ.
Edible cock ring.
No. It's something that you know I would like.
An edible butt plug.
Ooh, you know I would love that. But CJ, click on the link. Take a look at what we're looking at.
The world's back in stock. The world's first smokable vibrator.
Yeah.
Vaporator. Experience a high never before felt with the Vaporator by Maya. With both vibration and vape controls, you can lift your pleasure in every second of the word. So I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you smoke it while it's vibrating in you?
I don't think so.
Can you just walk around with little puffs of vape coming out of you?
So looking at the picture, the first picture, the bulb on top, I'm pretty sure that's where the stem, the mouthpiece is. You take that bulb off. The next picture kind of shows it nicely. That's where you put your cart or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So I think that is not the pleasuring end. I think that's the end you hold. So theoretically, you could vape on one end and wiggle it around with your teeth, like, you know, move it around while holding it with your mouth to please someone else.
Okay. All right. I have one other question.
Yeah.
Do you think it's dishwasher safe?
Ooh, okay. So it does say medical grade silicone. I would guess that is dishwasher safe.
That's an assumption. I think we need to reach out to the product manufacturers and
ask if it's dishwasher safe.
Yeah.
It does have a 400 milliamp battery. I think that's milliamp. I don't know if the battery would do well.
Well, okay.
You know what? Let me try Vaporator. Vaporator by Maya.
I think you should reach out to customer support and ask them.
Maya Toys. That's what I'm looking for. Contact us. Maya Toys. My name, Tommy. My email address, tomatoanus@gmail.com. How can we help you? Let's see. Product information. CJ, help me craft this message to Maya Toys.
Okay. To whom it may concern.
To whom it may concern.
I am interested in the Vaporator product as seen on this link on x.com.
Okay.
Before purchasing for my partner and I am interested to know if this product is dishwasher safe.
I would like to know if this product is dishwasher safe.
Please get back to me at your earliest convenience. Sincerely, Tomato Anus.
Please get back to me at your earliest convenience. Sincerely, Tomato Anus.
Very fitting that you are reaching out about a smokable butt plug. Sponsorship?
Oh, wait. Thank you for contacting us. This might be an issue. Maya Toys customer service will be unavailable from February 7th, 2022 to February 18th, 2022. Be assured that we will address your message when we return. Shit. Well, do you think they returned from their break 2.5 years ago?
Well, maybe by next week we'll have an answer.
Why is this still on their website? They've had 2.5 years to take
a new product.
I think so. I see it on their site, you know. They haven't posted anything to their Twitter in over a year. So, don't know.
This might be an out of business company, Chief, but we'll try.
Their website's still available.
Yep.
Well, I think it's time, with all of that non-relevant discussion, let's talk about...
Excuse you, it's 100% relevant.
Talk about Mean Girls. It's only relevant if we loop it all back in, CJ. We need to talk about Arrow and popsicles and a smokable vibrator.
And an edible butt plug.
And air
conditioners.
Raccoons.
And raccoons and skunk and weed and
oh man, can you imagine
pickles?
If in the series Okie Dokie finale we went through and made a note of every individual thing we talked about, and then we had it be like the end game of podcasts. It was just like 8 hours long of us just skimming through a spreadsheet, referencing, just throwing out random things. I was like,
on the one hand, I would love that.
Dolly.
On the one hand, I would love that. On the other hand, I don't like that you're doom future predicting our demise.
No,
who says this podcast is going to end?
Well, okay, here's the thing. There's a difference between saying on the final episode and there's a difference between and then saying on the series finale, because with a series finale, there's intent there.
Okay.
So Mean Girls, speaking of intent, I don't know what that has to do with Mean Girls, but intent. CJ, how'd you like Mean Girls? Give me some general thoughts.
I love Mean Girls.
Yeah?
Yeah, that movie, like I said before, it's very quotable, very memorable. At one point, I was trying to think of something, and I couldn't remember I couldn't focus, so I muted the movie, and I'm watching the lips of the actors, and I know all the lines, so it was pretty good. I mean, I like the movie a lot, so... Somehow, I think that it has a comical edge in a way that Heather's... I feel like just because we watch these two movies back to back, there's going to be a fair amount of comparison to the two Heathers and Mean Girls. It has a very funny edge, and makes the bitchy actions of high school girls engaging in a way that I think that they actually aren't. As two people that went through high school, I feel like we can confidently agree on that. Also, I've seen pictures of you without facial hair, and I just gotta say, you look really weird.
Thank you.
It's like your brand has morphed. You without glasses and facial hair, you just look like a regular dude.
I mean, well, that's because I am a regular dude. Even when I have glasses and facial hair, I'm just a
It'd be like
dude.
Ozzy shaving his head and getting rid of the glasses and wearing like khakis. Like, okay, well, that's not Ozzy Osbourne. You have your look is very defined.
Okay, I'll take that as a compliment.
I think it was meant to be one.
Thank you. I am bowing so deeply right now.
Don't bow.
I'm doing it.
All right. So, what are your general thoughts?
I would say I liked it.
Oh God, you don't like it?
I would.
You bitch.
Here's the thing about this movie.
Timmy Meadows.
I love Tim Meadows. Yeah, he was great in this.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about this movie is I think it was a bit overhyped for me going in. Not from you or anything, but from
That's not the film's problem.
Growing up in the film's problem is that I didn't find it as funny as I was expecting it to be. You know, I'm not saying that I didn't like it because I had overhyped it and the disappointment made me not enjoy it. It's just, you know, it wasn't as good as I was expecting. CJ, I have to ask.
No.
What are you doing with a giant coin right now? For
I
those
got...
of you, I have to
Don't do this to me.
No. We have a Discord channel for editing notes. Whenever we listen or proof listen or anything, we send a timestamp with a note of something to edit. And I have the channel I happen to have it up on another monitor, and you guys won't hear it because I'll edit it out. But earlier in the episode, CJ dropped a coin and there was just a giant coin noise in the background when I was talking. CJ sent a message with a timestamp. I dropped the giant coin.
You're welcome.
13 minutes later, now I'm talking. Giant noise again, and CJ sends another message immediately. I dropped a giant coin at this time. CJ, what are you doing with a giant coin?
Okay.
Like, don't get me wrong. I fidget with stuff while we record as well.
Yes, I am like fidgeting with stuff, and I got a challenge coin in the mail for being a first 2-month supporter for a new podcast Patreon page. And so they sent me a challenge coin. The podcast is called Morning Somewhere with Bernie Burns and Ashley, I guess Burns, but Jenkins. And
those sound like made up names.
Former Rooster Teeth people. They do a 20-minute daily podcast in the morning, and it was a fun time, so I decided to support the show. And they sent me a challenge coin, which is a huge coin.
When you say huge, how big?
So I'm putting the coin in the palm of my hand. It's as wide as my middle finger to my index finger. And it goes from the top of my palm, the base of my fingers, to the index finger on my pointer finger. The top knuckle, right?
Okay.
So it's a pretty decently sized coins. Yeah, the second knuckle.
Gotcha. So it's like 2.5 inches?
Yeah, I think it's a 2.5 inch coin.
Okay.
And it's thick. And I've been fidgeting with it so much lately, and I've been spinning it on my desk. And usually it's fine because I just catch it before it goes off. But twice now, it has hit this other giant coin that I have on my desk, which is a Bowser coin from a Mario collection set that I found while I was cleaning my apartment. And they both keep going to the floor.
How many giant coins do you own? Just the 2?
2. Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
And I got them on the same day, basically. So.
Damn.
All right, I put them to the side. No more giant coins.
Damn it.
Thank you for calling me out.
So, Mean Girls.
Go back to talking shit about this beloved film.
No, it's not that like I said, I liked it, but I was expecting to like it more. When I was in middle school and high school, this movie was everywhere. And maybe it's because of the people that I hung out with at the time, but like all of the girls in my friend group quoted this every other sentence. Every other sentence. So
you know why?
Because
it's very quotable.
Yes, especially to 12-year-old girls. But no, it's like it is a very quotable movie. Like, I agree with that. I actually wrote down a bunch of quotes from this to run through later. I have like 15 of them written down.
Uh-huh.
But I think because of how pervasive it's been through my life and how much it's been referenced, I was expecting it to be like this comedy that's like, it defines the early 2000s or mid 2000s. I expected to watch it and be like, wow, okay, yeah, that's a fantastic comedy. But it wasn't that for me. I thought it was just pretty good. A lot of the comedy didn't land for me. I think I probably would have found it funny at some point in my life, but just kind of has aged. Either I have aged to a point where I just it doesn't tickle me like that, or The movie hasn't aged necessarily the best because there's some humor here that doesn't necessarily stand up from a social perspective, but it's not like that's the majority of it, But just, generally, I liked it. I think that there's some standout performances. I think that there's some standout characters. I think that some bits overstay their welcome. But no, generally, it was pretty, I would say it's okay to pretty good. I can see why people really like it. Like you said, it's so quotable. It is one of the most quotable movies. But I don't know. It's just, I think it's a comedy. So a lot of the crux of it lands on whether or not the comedy works for you. And just it wasn't resoundingly, pervasively funny like I was hoping or expecting. But again, good movie.
I was going to let this go. I was going to let this go, and I was going to say, you know what? DJ, difference of opinion,
But
I was gonna, and then you made that joke about it being very good for 12-year-old girls, and you've deserved it. So, yesterday, you streamed live on twitch.tv/tomatoanus.
Uh-huh.
And you didn't tell me, and you didn't have streamer mode enabled. So that plus this, I told you yesterday I had some great news for you. And then I was like, you know what? That's petty. You're being small. Don't do that. Just tell him on the podcast tomorrow. But now, you motherless fuck, shitting on this beloved film for no other reason to be some counterculture swine, some fucking apolitical Janice Ian Space Dyke outcast. This has gone too far, and I will not stand for it, and I'm punishing you I'm going to let you pick, okay?
Oh no, my punishment
I'm
is
going
a choice?
to let you pick. Yes, it is. You can choose between two options.
Okay.
First option is, I did something that you would love to talk to me about, and I did it for you.
Okay.
You can choose to not talk to me about it, and I won't tell you what it is. Or, I will tell you what I did, and your punishment will be that I'm going to pick, in the future, maybe not the next movie, maybe not the movie after that, but at some point, the boomerang of fate will come around, and I'm going to pick a purposefully awful movie for you to watch.
Oh, that's
not
okay.
awful. No, not awful in a, this is bad way. Awful in a Renaissance man kind of way.
Okay. It sounds like the punishment is part of the conceit of the podcast, so I'm going to take it. CJ, tell me what you wanted to tell me.
I didn't say I was going to tell you right now.
Fuck! I thought you were going to say you were going to tell me on the podcast, or is it later in the episode?
Okay, I'll tell you what it is. I watched the two Dune movies.
You did?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, we can talk about that later.
We're not talking about it now.
No, we'll talk about that later.
I'm very mad at you.
You're mad at me because you don't have stream notifications on for me, or you're not in my Discord server with stream notifications on. And I turned off streamer mode. I turned off streamer mode because I had to search for a Discord message, and it's my responsibility to let CJ know when I start streaming.
It is. I like to be invited.
You gotta have an invite when it's when I'm streaming publicly?
No. I hate open invitations. Invite people.
I'm not gonna I don't want to pester you. You don't message me when you stream, so I'm not gonna message you when I stream, CJ.
I don't message you when I stream because I don't want to pester you.
And you don't think that maybe I feel the same?
Do you want the role in my server?
I have the role actually.
Oh, there you go then. You're pinged.
Exactly.
Do I have the role?
You should by default, unless you purposely muted it because
you
it's just a
everyone.
going live channel. Yeah, it's a going live channel.
That's not a role. That's an at everyone.
Yeah, but it's in the specific channel.
No, but see, I have everyone's muted. I only get role pings.
The only time people get at everyone in my channel is for my uploads and going live, so.
Yeah, no, you fucked it up.
No, not my responsibility. But all right, Mean Girls.
You haven't streamed since fucking April 18th. You're terrible.
I streamed yesterday.
No, but before that.
CJ, what happened in Mean Girls?
Fuck you. So the movie opens, and Katie Heron, played by Lindsay Lohan, is in Africa, kind of, but she's not. She's going to join a new jungle, the jungle of high school.
Oh,
that's right.
shit.
Katie Heron is a 16-year-old freshman? ? That doesn't make a lot of sense. She's a 16-year-old freshman, and she has a hard time on her first day. She eats lunch in the toilet. She comes home. She doesn't talk to her parents, but then the next day, she has to sit behind this kid that farts. Like, it's a whole thing. And then the next day, she meets two people who she met on the first day. She meets Janice Ian and Damian Lee. Janice Ian is a gothy alternative girl, and Damian Lee is quote-unquote too gay to function. And they are her guides through this safari through high school living. She explains all of the different groups, including the mathletes. She goes over the burnouts, the sexually active band geeks, debate team, all those different teams. And she warns her about the Plastics, a group of insecure high school queen bees featuring the insecure Gretchen Wieners, the dim-witted Karen Smith, and the queen of the jungle herself, Regina George. And then Katie, who is also called Caddy because it's C-A-D-Y, is unexpectedly invited to join the Plastics, which Janice decides, oh, great, you are going to spy on them for us, and you are going to collect information on her, and you're going to help ruin her life. Later that day, Caddy meets her classmate, Aaron, who becomes her love interest in the film, and Gretchen warns Katie, that is Regina's ex-boyfriend, and she should stay away. So that is the first act. You meet all the main characters, you're introduced to all the groups. Mrs. Norbury is played by Tina Fey, that's her math teacher, and Timmy Meadows is the principal named Mr. Duvall. Okay. So Janice insists that Regina is complete evil, and that they're doing this to tear down Regina George, but Katie actually likes hanging out with Regina and the Plastics, and so they go to the mall. They go back to her house. You meet Amy Poehler, who plays Regina George's mom. She's a cool mom. And Regina George and the Plastics have a book called The Burn Book, where they take pictures out of the yearbook and they write mean comments about the other girls and other people in the book. She says something about Damian. She says, oh, he's too gay to function, which is something that Janice says, and she ends up writing that in the Burn Book. Then it comes to a head. Katie gets invited to a Halloween party. Oh, sorry. Gretchen tells Regina that Katie likes Aaron. And Regina tries to get Katie off of liking Aaron, but then she decides that she can use this situation to get back with Aaron, so she tells Aaron that Katie likes her, but she does it in a way that makes her look like a stalker, and that ends up with Aaron and Regina getting back together. At the house party, Regina kisses him, and they resume their relationship. And that causes Katie to commit to ruining Regina's life. So over the next few months, she tries, with some success and some failure, to ruin Regina. She manages to turn Gretchen against Regina and tricks her into revealing all of her secrets. So she does this by breaking her. She has Damian give her candy cane grams. Basically, Regina George says that it's her best friend, and Gretchen breaks and has a glitch. And Damian goes, none for Gretchen Wieners, bye. Which is really funny. Also, you go, Glen Coco. This is also used to break up Regina's and Aaron's relationship. And she is also... so she also fails math on purpose so that he will tutor her. Because originally she asks for his help, but then he looks at her test score and he goes, you're doing fine, it looks like. And then she tricks Regina into eating Caltine bars, which are high-calorie snack bars that help her gain weight, but they're actually diet food. And then, so Regina gets overweight, she can't, she loses Aaron, and Gretchen turns against her and has all these secrets. And as such, Regina gains weight, and she violates the dress code by wearing sweatpants, the only thing that still fits her. And so that means that Regina is now banished from the Plastics, and Katie is now the new Regina George. So her parents are going out of town. Katie decides to throw a house party. She's going to use this moment to be with Aaron. She gets drunk. They trash the house. She admits to Aaron that she doesn't actually need math tutoring. And then he's like, wow, you're no better than Regina. And then she throws up. Then Janice had asked her to go to her art show, and Katie instead throws the party. Janice confronts her, and then Katie says that she's in love with her. And then Janice is like, wow, you've become just as much of a plastic as Regina is, and you've become the thing that you set out to destroy. And then Regina finds out that the diet bars are not diet bars. They are bars to make her gain weight. Katie gave her those. So she decides to destroy Katie. She pastes her own photo in the burn book, saying that she's a fugly cow. And she distributes it through the high school in an attempt to frame Katie, Karen, and Gretchen. So she photocopies the book. She goes to Mr. Duvall and is crying. Ms. Norbury is implicated as a drug pusher. And so they gather all of the girls into the gym to talk through their issues. Also, in here somewhere, the gym teacher who tells them all to not have sex at all or their dicks will fall off and stuff, he's caught fucking one of the students, and it's revealed in the burn book, and then he tries to break up two of the girls he was having sex with, and Timmy Meadows is like, I've got you, and then he leaves. Because some of the stuff in there turned out to be true, that's going to be relevant later. So they get all of the junior students in the... I guess she's a junior in the movie, not a freshman. Mm-hmm. They get all the girls in the gymnasium. One girl says that it's not her fault that she uses super jumbo tampons because she has a heavy flow and a wide set vagina. They do trust falls, which are fun. Gretchen just crushes Karen, or Karen just I don't forget who falls on who, but they do a trust fall where the two of them just get taken out. Janice basically has an impassioned speech about Regina. The girls cheer. Regina storms out and she gets hit by a bus. So she ends up in like the Halo thing. And then, because the thing about the gym teacher turned out to be true, Ms. Norbury is implicated as a drug dealer. Her house gets searched, and Katie decides she's had enough. She takes full responsibility for the book, which makes her a social pariah. And because she's been failing math intentionally, because she thought it would make Aaron like her, she has to join the mathletes for extra credit. And then it all comes down to the final question, which is a tiebreaker, and the two teams have their girls go up. So they're like, we're going to have both teams have one girl participant. And so the two girls answer the final question. Katie's also grounded for the party and for being kind of a bitchy teenage girl. Katie wins. They win the state championships. They go to the Spring Fling dance, where Katie is elected Spring Fling queen. And then she gives a speech. Timmy Meadows says people don't usually give a speech. She gives a speech. She breaks the plastic tiara and gives the pieces to all the different girls in the crowd, making peace with all the people that she has crossed and wronged. And then she slow dances with Aaron, and they kiss after she promises she's not going to vomit all over him. So now it's senior year. Aaron is now in college. They're dating, but she's in college. The plastics are no more. Regina joins the lacrosse team as a way to handle her anger. Gretchen joins the Asian girl clique who were fucking the gym coach. Karen becomes the school's weather girl, which is awesome and is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. And then they're like, oh yeah, it's been peaceful. It's not much of a jungle. And then they see 3 new junior plastics that are like basically counterparts to Gretchen, Regina, and Karen. And yeah, it ends, and they're like, oh, I wonder how long this is going to last. So there you go. That is the synopsis of Mean Girls. And I gotta say, I don't know how well of a job I did or not, but you didn't interrupt me at all. And I think that that's a really good sign.
No, it was. I don't think we've had a bad recap on this podcast, CJ. I think we might be the 2 best movie recappers this side of the Mississippi.
Now that's a hot take.
I don't want to say west because, west of the Mississippi, there's lots of talent out there.
Uh-huh.
But especially in the movie recap podcast game.
I think it'd be much weirder. A better idea for a podcast would be for us to listen to podcasts and then recap what other people say on their podcast.
Ooh, this is a good idea.
Yeah. So you don't have to listen to Joe Rogan. We'll just recap Joe Rogan for you.
Oh, I hate that idea now. Instantly, I've never gone from hot to cold on an idea so quickly.
I picked him for that reason. All right, so there you go. That's the movie. So you don't have a lot of notes this time, I gotta say.
No,
You
I
don't.
really don't. Normally, I have a lot of talking points. So CJ, I'm hoping that you're able to carry this conversation a bit more this time than I usually like.
Did you do that on purpose? You bitch.
No, I actually did not. I just honestly, I really didn't take many notes during this movie. I don't know if it was.
Well, I definitely didn't. You're the one that takes notes.
I don't know if it was because this movie, you know, it's a comedy, so it's a bit more. It's a breakneck comedy. It's jokes like flying at you constantly. So I feel like I was probably more trying to catch everything that was going on and not making as many notes about what was happening. But something I did take notes on that kind of goes in hand with the recap. Now, I kind of called my shot right before we started recording. I think right near the end of the pregame, I said that the 8th scene was going to be my favorite scene.
Okay.
CJ, do you remember me trying to count the scenes and to deliberate when a scene started and ended when we were starting this movie so I could accurately count which scene was number 8? Do you remember me going like, okay, wait, what is this scene 3 now? Or do you remember me doing that? And you go like, what are you okay?
Yes, I remember that.
Okay. So I'm going to run through the first 8 scenes. Scene 1 was the opening montage about her stopping being homeschooled. Scene 2 was the first class. Scene 3 was when she made friends with Janice and what was the name? Not Ian. Ian is Janice's last name. What's the
Damien?
Damien. Yes, thank you. Damien. Made friends with Damien and Janice, and they skipped class. Scene 4, we met the Plastics. Scene 5 was her deciding to join the Plastics. Scene 6 was the montage of her becoming plastic. Scene 7 was a math team recruitment scene. And then scene 8, going shopping with the Plastics. And CJ, I was so close. I was so damn close to getting this correctly. Scene 8 is just another, I don't want to say whatever scene. You know, it's just another scene, right? Scene 9, though. I think scene 9 might be my favorite scene in the entire movie. And
Okay, what was scene 9?
I'm livid that I was off by 1. Scene 9 is when we get to meet Amy Poehler's character.
Yes.
Gretchen, or wait, not Gretchen. What's
Regina's
Rachel making?
mom.
Yeah, Regina's mom. Her introduction. First off, I'm not a big SNL person. If a skit's going super mega viral, I'll check it out. I've seen most of like the famous big skits from like the 90s, 80s, 2000s. I've like the Tina Fey, Amy Poehler era just completely blew by me. I didn't keep up with it. What I'm familiar with Amy Poehler from most is Parks and Rec. I'm familiar with her as, you know, the perky Leslie Knope, who's, I guess, unstoppable in a way. She's just full of pluck. She is such a plucky character. So it's so hilarious seeing Amy Poehler in this role as the suburban upper middle class / upper class mom who wears like Gucci and pink sweatshirts who wants to, or sweatpants, who like wants to be a friend to their daughters more than a mom, and she herself hypersexualizes herself and her appearance, so her kids are hypersexualized. Like it's like a very specific person, but like I know people who are like this. CJ, do you know people who are like Amy Poehler's character in real life?
Yes.
It's such a good encapsulation of that type of person. And she's just so goddamn funny in the scene. And like her nipples are incredibly hard in the scene too. And there's like an entire joke about how her nipples are poking through her shirt, which that'll be relevant later for something that I'm excited to bring up, but we'll get to that later. You'll know it when you know it, CJ. But I think that this scene 9 of meeting Amy Poehler, I think that was my favorite scene. So just barely missed the mark with scene 8. Devastated by it.
Devastating. Yeah.
Devastated.
Before we go any deeper, so you said Amy Poehler, one of your one of your liked performances. Do you have any other
Yeah.
performances that stand out to you?
For me, the other big performance who I loved was Tina Fey. I felt that, you know, she wrote this movie. Tina Fey is an incredible comedian.
I almost just grabbed the Bitcoin.
Oh,
I reached over and grabbed it and was like, no, don't do it.
You almost grabbed a Bitcoin? You're a crypto person, CJ?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead. What were you saying? Amy Poehler and Tina Fey.
Tina Fey, like, she's funny in this movie, don't get me wrong, but she's one of, if not like the most grounded characters in this movie. She, in many scenes, is, you know, like, she has a regular humor about her. Something like when they ran into her when she was, what was Tina Fey doing? Was she working a second job or something? They saw her out in public and she's like,
yeah, she was on her way to her bartending job at this restaurant thing.
yeah. And like, she just made a joke. It's like, yeah, we exist outside of school or whatever. And it's just like, you know, her jokes were more normal rather than existing in the heightened state of this world. And I think that her as kind of the straight man in the scene she was in really worked for me. I thought that her delivery was just great. Just overall, really liked her and Amy Poehler.
Nice.
But CJ, how about you? Were there any, how about performances or scenes that really stick out to you that you love?
Well, I'll say first and foremost, you cannot talk about the success of Mean Girls and not talk about Rachel McAdams as Regina George. One of the main reasons we are talking about this movie years after its release is because that she brings Regina George to life. And I think that Regina George is genuinely one of the better, I think she's in the conversation for like a top 100 cinema villain. Like, I think,
honestly, you know what? I think you got something there.
Yeah, I don't think that that's crazy. I don't think that that's like out of the, because I can understand why maybe you didn't like it and maybe like it just fell flat for you, but I don't think that you can say that it was not good, and I don't think that you can say that it is not culturally significant, because I think both those things are very true. And I think that so you can't talk about the film without talking about Rachel McAdams. And honestly, I think that for the little bit that he's in it, Tim Meadows as the over his head dealing with teenage girls, like kind of sad sack, like standing next to Tina Fey, he seems sad. And
He does.
And Tina Fey seems sad when not standing next to Tim Meadows. It's almost like an Edna Krabappel and Seymour Skinner dynamic, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, Edna Krabappel from The Simpsons looks really kind of sad and pathetic. Then you stand her next to Seymour Skinner, and it's like, oh yeah, he's really bad. Yeah, this isn't good. So I think that he's really funny. He's just in over his head. Some scenes I think that stand out. Obviously, you also can't talk about this movie without talking about the Christmas dance, which it maybe is memorable for the wrong reasons, but a very memorable sequence has been parodied and redone and referenced in other things. Slightly uncomfortable.
Oh, big
watching
time.
that. Yeah,
Big
very a little cringy. And I like what do I say? I love the character of Janice Ian, right? But I don't know that her performance, Lizzie Kaplan's performance, is like really great. I think she was in Freaks and Geeks too. I think everybody was in Freaks and Geeks. But yeah, no, just pretty good. And also Neil Flynn, honorable mention as the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Neil Flynn, dad from I think that you said that that she wrote the book, and I think that she did. I think she wrote the movie.
Yeah.
The screenplay.
Yeah.
It's based on a book called Queen Bees and Wannabes, and I think she went to Lorne Michaels to suggest that they turn it into a film, and then that sort of correlates. But obviously, Queen Bees and Wannabes is a nonfiction book, so the plot
it's like
and
a
everything.
self-help book, right?
Yeah, the plot and everything comes from scratch, and it's based on her high school experiences, and it's based on Evanston, which you were talking about.
Yeah, lots of Illinois stuff in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big tangent that we can get into more towards the end of talking about the movie, because I've been pulling up tabs in preparation for that moment. But
Okay.
do you have, of the Mean Girls, did you have a favorite specific Mean Girl?
Yes. My favorite Mean Girl, and I'm gonna say of the plastics, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna contain that to the plastic. Yeah, Karen Smith, which is Amanda Seyfried, probably my favorite. I just like sort of there's always like the leader of the group, and then the sidekick to the leader who has like some kind of thing going on, and then there's the out in their own little world third person. And I just find that character is always really funny because that character just gets to say anything, and anything that they say is really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Karen Smith, I mean, the scene where she's like, my boobs tell me there's a 30% chance that it's raining right now. Yeah.
As it's pouring rain on her.
Yeah. And honestly, also, I liked the character, and I think that when I was younger, this mattered more to me, that she was the one that I thought was the most attractive. When you're just younger, like, these things matter. I mean, the movie came out when I was 11, so it probably caught me right around 13, 14, when that actually matters to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw the play, and in the play, she's a little funnier. She has, like, her own song. She has some more zingers.
Mm-hmm.
She actually, there's something that only works on stage. So she has a song where they bring the curtain down or whatever, and she comes out onto stage to start her song, and then she messes up. And so she walks off stage and then comes back on, and they redo the song again.
That's really clever.
Yeah, really fun. So yeah, just in general, I really like Karen Smith. I really like Amanda Seyfried. And I guess I know where you're going, so let me just go there. Actually, did you know I met Amanda Seyfried? Of course you do, because we talked about this during the commentary track.
Yeah. And I added this, I can edit this out. We can talk about this only if you want to talk about it.
I'll talk about it. It's fine.
Okay.
I don't it's okay. To me, I genuinely don't think they did anything wrong. Like, I think this is a completely normal mistake that I made, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't do this maliciously. It was a complete accident.
We will all be the judge of this.
Okay, Mr. fucking Cosmic Brownie cheater. So in the one building of my job, there used to be, next to each other, 2 bathrooms that were gender neutral. They were family-style bathrooms, 1 toilet, 1 sink in them, right? But they were required to upgrade the facilities to accommodate more than 1 person. I went on vacation before they started working on them. I was not aware that they were going to change the bathrooms. When I came back from vacation, nobody told me that. Obviously, I had work to do. I went over to go to the bathroom, and I just walked in, and there was something different about the bathroom I walked into. And then I saw that there were stalls, and I was like, that's weird. I wonder why there's stalls. And then in the split second after that, out from one of the stalls comes Amanda Seyfried. So I'm standing there in the bathroom looking at Amanda Seyfried. She had like a little girl with her. It might have been her niece or her daughter. I don't know if Amanda Seyfried has children, but it was a little kid with her. And she was in there getting her car serviced. And I froze because I was like, why is Amanda Seyfried in this bathroom? It occurred to me that this was a women's room, that I had just walked in, and now I'm staring at this famous person. And my stupid ass could only manage to mutter, "You're my favorite Mean Girl," before I turned around and went to the other bathroom. Because in the time that I was gone, they made 1 a men's room and 1 a women's room. But I didn't know that.
I love how, from her perspective, a person just bursts into the bathroom, looks at her, "You're my favorite Mean Girl," and just exits.
Yes, I know.
Oh, it's amazing how many celebrities you've ran into, CJ, if I'm being honest.
A lot of famous people live up here.
Mm-hmm. My favorite, we can talk about it another time, because I'm sure with how pervasive he is as a writer, he'll come up at some point in the future.
No.
But I would love for you to tell those stories sometimes.
I don't know about that one.
Those are my favorite CJ stories.
Buddy, I don't know if I can.
Okay, fair enough. Those ones are so good, though.
That's a lot.
One day, One day we'll watch something where he's very relevant.
No, I'm not making any promises.
Well, it's a good thing that you are only in charge of half of these shows and movies we watch.
I will veto.
Whoa. I didn't know vetoes were truly on the table.
Don veto.
Well, okay. Favorite Mean Girl. We talked about, what was her name in the Karen?
Yep.
And her ESP weather predicting boobs.
Yeah.
I think my favorite Mean Girl, it's probably got to be Regina. Just because, like you said, she's a fantastic antagonist. Like, I think it had been spoiled. I think I knew this, that when she goes to get revenge against Katie, that she puts herself in the burn book and, flips herself into the victim. I'm pretty sure I knew that going into it, but even seeing it done, it's just like, I couldn't help but just think like, man, what a play. What a outmaneuvering of Katie,
Yeah.
Just
for sure.
Really, really engaging moment in that story. And I think that's the stretch of this movie I like most. I think
the end.
No, it's like, it's from when Regina finds out to the end. It's the final act. It's like the final third of the movie, the stuff with when the burn book goes public and it's just chaos in the school. And, there's been throughout the movie, a lot of allegory and metaphor from Katie, because this movie is narrated like it's the movie A Christmas Story. And she's narrating between scenes, and in scene someone will say something and we'll hear her thoughts before she actually responds. And like through her, she's like kind of developing this allegory of how high school is like the wilderness, and talks about how it's like the African savannah where she grew up and all that type of stuff, and how everyone is animals and watering holes and everything like that. And seeing that then just like kind of bust open at the seams, and the riot in the school, riot for lack of a better word, of like all of the junior girls all attacking each other, and there's animal noises and like roars and shrieks constantly, and it's just absolute chaos. And just, I feel like it's a subversion in a way. It's like, no way would you expect or predict this movie to go that direction when you start watching it. When you start watching it, but it pulls it off really well. It's a really, like, that's when I felt like I was like, okay, the movie's got me. It's not like the end of it saved it for me, because through and through, like, this movie, it's pretty good. It's not like the ending saved it for me and I didn't like it beforehand, but the ending hammered it home. And I was like, all right, that was solid. I like Katie's resolution with the mathletes, even though I have a lot to nitpick about that, but it was good. It's a good resolution. I like how it all wraps up. I like how in the end, Regina isn't, it's not like she's defeated. It's just a new status quo was established. I liked that a lot as the ending. Regina finds a place that works for her where she can get that aggression out, and she isn't intimidating to those around her. And everyone kind of finds their spot, and it's a nice ending. It's a nice ending that doesn't feel too tropey or cliche in a way. But no, it was just that ending. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
So you mentioned the play and that you've seen the play, and I know that the Mean Girls musical, like, not even talking about the movie that just came out. Yeah. The Mean Girl musical movie, but Mean Girls, the musical, I've heard good things about it, but I'd like to hear more of your thoughts on it and how it might compare to the movie, which you might prefer, what one might do better than the others, if there's any characters you prefer in one to the other, just your general thoughts. I'd love to hear.
I think the play kind of ignited how much I like the movie more than the other way around. And part of that is that the play kind of has more of a girl power messaging to it. That's not particularly the reason that I like it more, but it's cool. It kind of takes back some of it from like the movie. I guess it just found me at the right time. I like musicals, and I like Broadway, and I like plays, and I was familiar with the source material, so I was like, okay, I'm going to enjoy this. And in the play, everything is amplified, right? Because you're acting to the back of the theater. So, like, Gretchen is very much more like the, like, sputtering out of control mess of a best friend when she thinks that Regina's mad at her. Karen is really hot and really stupid, and Katie is like the, I'm gonna enjoy taking the power from her. Janice is better. She's in the play. She was played by Barrett Wilbur Reed, who we talked about was also Winona Ryder's character in the Broadway production of Heathers, which is an interesting crossover. And just like, yeah, everything is more amplified, right? And the comedy is a little more amplified, and the songs kind of bring everything. They're more dramatic. But not just the play, the soundtrack. Basically every Speed Doc video that I ever edited, I edited while listening to the soundtrack of Mean Girls. And I love the soundtrack. And if you haven't listened to it, I promise you can get the whole gist of the play by listening to the OST. So give that a listen. It's really great, really cool. And then the movie that came out is based on the play, but it's an adaptation into a movie of something that was based on a movie that got turned into a play. So I haven't watched it yet. I've heard mixed things. It sort of sounds like they lost something in translation. That seems to be some of the criticism that I've heard. But no, it's I love the play. It's not on Broadway anymore, but listen to the soundtrack. It's phenomenal. It just emboldens in my mind how great of a villain Regina George is, because she's even more evil in the play.
Speaking of the music from the play, I think I brought this up during the movie, maybe even during the pregame, but I've never seen the play.
Pre-show.
Yeah. I've never seen the play, but I have
I'm not letting you get away with it. You can't call it the pregame.
That's just what
Pre-show.
I call it, CJ.
No.
The Rockin' Around the Pole song from it, right? That's from the Mean Girls play, Broadway?
I think what do they do in the movie?
They do Jingle Bell Rock.
Yeah, I think that there's a licensing issue and they do a different one. But they also, the one thing about the play that I'll say is they modernize the story to make it involve social media and smartphones and stuff. And that is an important change, because otherwise it's a little irrelevant, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And something that happens at the musical is that I think in the musical version, Regina George's dress rips or something, and everyone sees her butt.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Man, can you imagine if that was in the movie?
Yeah, it's like everyone sees her her fat butt, I think is the joke.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
It's viral.
Gotcha. Well, I was just gonna say, the Rockin' Around the Pole song. That's actually one of my favorite Christmas songs.
Okay.
It's just a great song. So I believe you when you say all the things that you had to say about it in the music and it being so enjoyable and the fact that you listen to it a lot. So cool. Thank you for sharing that.
I don't think that song is on the soundtrack, but I'm glad that you like the Christmas song. You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, if it's not on the soundtrack, then you should look it up. Look it up and listen to it.
There you go.
Rockin' Around the Pole. So we talked briefly about how quotable this movie is. I want to set aside a little bit of time to just run through as many quotes as we can think of.
Okay.
I have a bunch written down. CJ, do you want to go first, or should we just alternate rapid fire?
Sure.
All right. I have a bunch of quotes that I wrote down that I had heard so much over the years, especially, like I said, from my middle school and early high school friend group. So I'm ready when you are, CJ, if you'd like to start.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
You can't just ask people why they're white.
Stop trying to make fetch happen, Gretchen. It's never going to happen.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
Janice is a space dyke.
This one I heard all the time, and it might have been, honestly, when we were watching it that I realized that it's from this movie, is she doesn't even go here. That was a great joke in the movie.
Yeah, that was great. I love that. It's October 3rd.
Is butter a carb?
Damn, Africa, what happened?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a good one. I'm not just a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
That's a good one. It's October 3rd.
Didn't you just say that one?
Oh, did I say that one?
Yeah.
No, I said, damn, Africa, what happened?
No, right before that.
Oh, damn.
How about boo, you whore?
It's like I have ESPN or something.
Yes, that one's so good. the character who I feel like was quoted most amongst the people I knew was Kevin. So like, damn, I'd rather see you out there shaking that thing.
I can't go out tonight. I'm sick.
Don't let the hater stop you from doing your thing.
4 for you, Glenn Coco. You go, Glenn Coco.
All you sucker MCs ain't got nothing on me.
Raise your hand if you've ever been personally victimized by Regina George.
I say that to myself all the time, but I replace it with CJ, and I always raise my hand.
Shut up.
You said this one earlier. It's not my fault. I have a heavy flow and a wide set vagina.
Yes. Oh my God, Danny DeVito, I love your work.
I got one more. Hell no,
Okay.
I did not leave the South Side for this.
Did I say Glenn Coco?
Yeah.
Damn. I feel like there's another one. Probably not. There you go.
Awesome. One other thing I wanted to talk about before getting into the meat of my segment that I've prepared is Heathers and Mean Girls. Let's talk about how these two movies, let's compare and contrast, shall we?
All right, you go.
Oh, geez,
I've been
I was
doing all
hoping
the
you'd go
fucking heavy
first.
lifting. No.
Okay, all right. I mean, if I had to pick one, let's just get this out of the way. This is not the crux of the segment, is which one we like better. I like Heathers better, but it was really cool to watch Heathers so closely to watching this movie for the first time. I think that there's a lot in Mean Girls that, you know, it might not be direct homage to Heathers, but it definitely feels like there's a strong influence from Heathers in there. I would be very surprised if Tina Fey came out and said, I've never seen Heathers. I would be shocked because it feels like a lot of Heathers' DNA is in this movie. They're both very absurd. They both have an approach with heightened reality to presenting high school, and you know, it has a lot to say about the cliquey nature of high school and some similar themes. You know, I think that Heathers, it's about an entirely different topic with everything it's about, you know, the serious nature of the subject matter, but it still covers a lot of the same topics with, you know, queen bees. You know, there's lots of similarities between the way the plastics work and the Heathers work. It was just really, really cool. I think that these would make a great double feature, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they would. I can definitely see that. I think that one kind of goes into the dark comedy lane, and the other one goes into the traditional comedy lane. Obviously, I think that there's a bigger comment. I think Heathers has more to say in a way than Mean Girls does. Not that Mean Girls doesn't have something to say, but I think Heathers has something more to say, and it goes about it in a very, like, literally going to shoot you in the face with it kind of thing.
Okay.
And I think that Mean Girls kind of does it in a maybe you just don't know how awful girls are to each other kind of way.
I hear what you're saying. It would be like kind of like if Heathers, it was solely about, like, you know, not to spoil it, but it's as if in Heathers no one died and it just stayed entirely focused on the dynamics from the start of the movie, and it doesn't get derailed by people dying, you know?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that, like, Heathers is the story of Mean Girls where Regina George dies instantly.
It's like they're cousins, but Heathers is your cousin who went to a different high school nearby, and he watched way too many David Lynch movies in high school, and then he just has a real edgy phase, and I don't even know where I'm going with this analogy. And then he just does a lot of drugs and goes to the Snappy Snack Shack way too much.
Yeah. No, I'm with it. And listen, the gay character, it wasn't, like, horribly offensive with mineral water and
Come on, that's just a dated stereotype.
Oof. Okay, we're near the end of our evaluation of the film, but so I was a math Olympiad. I got picked in elementary school. My teachers and the school saw a lot of potential in me And so they were like, hey, you should join the Reading Warriors, and you should join the Word Masters, and you should be a math Olympiad. And then I got to middle school, and they were like, you have potential, but we don't think you're smart enough to do honors classes. And I'm going to say this. If you just get branded with that in school, it's very hard to shake. So they branded me as like someone that wasn't intelligent enough to do honors classes, and I never got around that. Like, to the point where I had like an A- average. I finished in the top 50 of my class, but I didn't take a single advanced course because my guidance counselor, who is now no longer with us, but I didn't like her, she
fucking rip bozo.
Yeah, and she so she's gone. Thank good riddance. No, she's gone, but she didn't actually think I was smart enough to do honors classes or AP classes or anything, so I don't know. Just like that always stuck with me. But in elementary school, they did think that I was smart enough and that I could be something. And so I was coerced to do math Olympiads, and I did pretty good. We were doing like quadratic functions and shit in like the 4th grade. So it was pretty cool. I stopped doing it because all elementary school clubs were before school. Like, you had to get up at 6 a.m. to go do that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just wasn't worth
sucks. Fuck that.
it. Yeah.
That sounds miserable.
Yeah, it was miserable.
Well, I have a little experience with a math-related student group, and I talked about this briefly in the pregame. I was on math team. I also was recruited for it. First off, I totally agree with what you said about it being really hard to shake that type of stuff. Just thinking back, I feel like if you weren't on like an honors course track or an AP track in high school, it was really hard to like, you know, not course correct, because that would imply that not being in those is wrong. But it's really hard to adjust what path you're on and make sure you're fully caught up and everything. And it's just really hard to get your counselors and teachers to even sign off on that.
Yeah.
So I totally hear and relate to what you're saying. But
and like, sorry, one last thing. School was made for me. If I sit in a room while people are talking, I leave with the information that they talked about. Like, it doesn't go over my head. Like, I just absorb it. If I'm in the room, I learn it. Mm-hmm. And then I pass. And testing was like right up my alley. So like, it was so annoying to me that it's like, nah, you're not it. Mm-hmm. Because I had one really awful teacher in high school, and then they were like trying to put me in remedial classes.
Yeah, and that's all it takes.
If you're a straight A student and you fail a class, whose fucking fault is that?
Mm-hmm.
Whose fault, actually? Mm-hmm. Whose fault is that? All right, go ahead.
So I was more or less recruited to math team by my freshman year teacher. Also, first off, this is important. So Mean Girls, the reason why I'm getting into this. So Mean Girls takes place in Evanston, Illinois. It is a northern suburb of Chicago. It is where Northwestern University, Go Cats, is located. I did not go there. I just have a friend who did. And every time Northwestern is brought up, he either says Go Cats or Go NU. So Go Cats. But in the movie, there's the state math contest. It's a whole part in this movie. And I happen to be one of the foremost experts on the Illinois State Math Contest because I was a participant in it for 3 years. So let's get into where this movie is inaccurate. And this, I have to say, is like probably one of the most hyper niche things that we are going to talk about on this show. Because it's like,
go ahead.
It just so happens I know exactly this thing that was in the movie. So, okay. This movie could not be more inaccurate about what a math team competition is. And again, I'll finish with my credentials. I was recruited to math team by my freshman year geometry teacher. He was hounding me freshman year that I should try it out. And finally, sophomore year, I gave it a try and I was great at it. So I quit doing sports my junior year. I stopped playing basketball and baseball, and I was full-time math team. That was my focus. And then senior year, I was a co-captain. We did co-captains every year. We had 2 captains, and I was one of them. And we placed in state as a team every year. We were top 10. I myself placed in the top 15 every year that I competed in the individual competitions. So safe to say that I know what I'm talking about here. So the way the state math contest is ran is, first off, it's not just at your high school. The state math contest in Illinois is ran by a group called ICTM. It's the ICTM State Math Contest. I actually am not sure off the top of my head what ICTM stands for, but ICTM State Math Contest. When I was doing it, it was at University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. According to their website, it's now at ISU, Illinois State University. It's more west than east. Anyway, so the competition would be at the college. The state finals at the college, not at just a random high school with a giant banner above. So that's the first thing. Second is pretty much you leave school for it. You get bussed down during school. You miss like a day or two of school. You stay like in a hotel at the college and do everything. But the actual competition itself is not people just standing on stage. The best way to explain what math team competitions are like is it's kind of like track and field, where there's a bunch of different events, or I guess like gymnastics. There's a bunch of different events, and based on how you perform in them, you earn points. They go to your team point total. That determines your team standing in the general field, and you can also win medals for your individual performances as well. So for each of these events, I guess when I was there were 6 main ones. They're called writtens, 8-person, calculator, 2-person, orals, and relay. And the most you could compete in was like 3 of them, like as an individual. But anyway, when you do these, it is like you are going and taking a test in a room. Because keep in mind, there are hundreds of kids competing in every grade level from high schools all around the state. So you are all being tested in a bunch of different classrooms or lecture halls at the college. It's pretty much you're sitting down and taking a test for like 40 minutes or 60 minutes. And no cell phones, no talking, no nothing. Most of them are like the big competition is that it's entirely solo. It is not like Family Feud. That's what the math competition in the movie is most like, is it's pretty much Family Feud, where they're like going up to a podium and buzzing in to answer. Another thing that there was, though, was it was 8-person, which was pretty much 8 people per team. It was like 4 freshmen, 4 sophomore, 4 junior, 4 senior. There were 2 levels for the event. And like pretty much you're sitting at a big table, and it's just like the first thing, you're taking a test, but it's a group thing. No calculators allowed. Same goes with the solo thing. No calculators allowed. Then there's another thing similar to 8-person. It's a test you're taking as a group, but I think it's like 4 or 5 people. And that one you can use calculators. And that one's just like pretty much how well do you know your calculator? It's just like a bunch of crazy graphing shit and crazy hard problems you could only solve with really complex graphing calculators. The other ones are like the more niche competitions. There is 2-person, which I was on with my co-captain, and it's the only one that is remotely close. I guess it's the main one that's close to what they show in the movie, because this is one where you're actually competing with time against other teams. You're sitting in a classroom again, and you're sitting next to your partner, and they put up the questions like on an what are they called? Why am I completely blanking? The overhead projectors, right? You're supposed to solve them right away and hold them up when you're done. You get points for how fast you finish them. So that's similar. There's another one called orals, which is pretty much you're given a topic and you go through the entire school year preparing more or less a lesson plan, and you teach it to judges, and they judge you based on how well you talked about the subject and everything. And then the last one is relays, which is pretty much you have like 4 or 5 people on your team sitting in a row, and you're not allowed to talk. The first person has an easy question, and as you go back in the row, the questions get harder. The answer to the first question is necessary to solve the second question, and the answer to the second question is necessary to solve the third question, and so on. So it's a matter of everyone getting their question right and stuff like that. And there's like, you're not supposed to communicate at all during this, but there are like hidden ways that we would communicate. Things like you write your answer because you can keep passing answers back if like you like confirm an answer or change something. So like you would write your answers farther to the right on the answer line, the more confident in it you were. So stuff like that. But just in general, totally different. It's not in front of an audience at all. The only one that has spectators is the 2-person competition, the one that I talked about where you have the overhead projector and you're holding it up with timing. That had an audience, but they're like far away and very quiet, and you don't even know they're there. So it wasn't far from this big stage thingy. I have just the inaccuracies of this math team competition. It just really ruined the movie. It's horrible. I can't believe that they couldn't get it right. But CJ, I wanted to send you, this is just for you to see, and you can confirm to the listener. I just sent you an article written about my math team, and I feel comfortable talking about this because there's hundreds of these articles every year. Article written about the math team I was on one of the years that I was there. And you can actually see me in the picture, CJ. Do you see second row, second person on the left holding a plaque up? That is me without facial hair.
I know.
Look at that.
I know what you look like. It's crazy.
Wow. But there you go. Proof.
Your neck was bigger then.
Well, I was also over 10 years younger.
All right, let's talk about somebody really quick. Let's go back one more row. Obviously, there's the 2 people holding the trophies. And then there's guy who is behind the guy holding the plaque. And then here's my man. What is this man's name?
I can give me 1 second to think. Oh, what was his name? Oh, I don't. All right, I'm going to censor this part. His name, Gregory Humperdinck.
Motherfucker needs to see some sun. He is pasty, bro. He's Elmer's glue. My man, he reads manga in the dark.
He specifically, I don't know if you had a Texas Instruments, like a TI calculator.
Yeah.
TI 83 and 84 is always the big one. TI 89 was a big one. Oh, speaking of, real quick, tangent off of this dude real quick before I hop back to him. At the state math contest, there is a ICTM song that we sing in the opening and closing ceremonies. The ICTM state math contest song. The lyrics are, it's the ICTM state math contest and the mathletes are here to stay. Algebra, calculators, Pythagoras, problem solving all the way. It's the ICTM state math contest. Great questions for challenge and play. Stimulation for students, ideas for teacher. Illinois, it's a glorious day. Illinois, it's a glorious day. Illinois, it's a glorious day. So I had to go through that. But the dude who you pointed out, he was a big calculator guy. If I remember right, his whole deal was he loved his calculator and felt naked without it. And he had a different brand. He had a Casio calculator instead of a Texas Instruments. He was the only person who had a Casio calculator, but he was like so elitist about it and so arrogant about how great his Casio was. We're like, dude, it's a fucking calculator.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
I know.
Because you talked about your song that played at your event, I would like to give a brief foray into how different our lives have been.
Mm-hmm.
I boxed, and it wasn't like sanctioned per se. I'm not going to get into the specifics. If you want to know more, I'll tell you after. Let's just say there was like a 13 and 14-year-old fight ring in the basement of a random boys and girls club. And we would go there like once a month, and I used to get the shit beat out of me, but I was whatever. And then one time I was like, don't people get songs when they walk to the ring? And they're like, the guy was like, it ain't that kind of thing. It ain't that kind of event. And I was like, oh. And so my dad was like, he brought the boombox down and he's like, what song do you want to walk down to? If you put it on the CD, I'll play it when you go. And we'll have like a little walk to the ring song. So do you know what my walking to the boxing ring song was?
It's going to be Knowing You, a song from before 2007. Is this accurate so far?
Yes.
Okay. What would be the worst song to walk? I got it.
Okay.
Sitting on the dock of a bay.
That'd be really funny. No, it wasn't. It was Why Can't We Be Friends by War.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That
stole
song
from The
always.
Simpsons.
Oh, that song always reminds me of the Lizzie McGuire show because there's an episode that ends with her and Gordo having like a water fight to that song.
Weird.
I know.
Yeah. So I got fun. Anyways, so there you go. And now everyone's favorite question,
Yeah.
Tommy.
CJ, could you have done a Mean Girls?
Oh yeah.
I guess. All right. When you say "oh yeah," what does your "oh yeah" entail? What are you Kool-Aid Manning about?
Pick any character. I feel like I could have done it.
All right. Let's go. Let's just go with Katie. Right.
Yep.
You just moved
Protagonist, classic.
You just moved to a new school,
Yep.
and you have to overthrow and supplant the queen bee.
Love it.
How are you going to do it? What's your plan of attack?
Well, why don't fix what ain't broken?
Okay. I was going to say we can assume that you have an in so that you can begin talking to them and whatnot, but
Oh, I feel like usually when we do this, it's like, could you do the things in the movie? Yeah, I could make Gretchen Wieners turn on Regina George.
how would you have done that?
Oh, I'm more rumory and gossipy than Katie is. She did it like, she did some psyop shit with the candy canes. I would have been like, oh my god, me and my bestie Regina, and I would have shown her pictures of the two of us, which would have broken her in half.
Gotcha.
And then, obviously with the advent of technology, much more forms of psychological warfare are possible. I definitely would have fattened Regina up, but I also would have written mean things about her on the walls of the bathroom stalls. Which I feel like, transcends generations. We were writing nasty things about us, about other people in the bathroom stalls, which is part of the reason I didn't go in the bathrooms in my high school. And that was 2012.
See, in my high
was a
school,
senior.
we mostly just had bomb threats written on the inside of the bathroom stalls.
One time someone said they brought anthrax to school and then fucked around and found out what happens when you say
that's a
that you
great
have
idea.
anthrax.
That's a great
I'll tell
idea.
I'll tell you that one off stream.
Okay.
But yeah, so I feel like I could have done it. I feel like I could have done Regina. I could have done Janice. I could have done Katie. I could have done Amy Poehler. I feel like I could have done any of them.
You mentioned psyops shit, Katie's plan.
Yep.
I think in terms of believability, because I have to rank this, of course, I would say this is slightly less emphatic of a yes than Chicken Run and Renaissance Man, but I would say more emphatic in my book than a Heather's.
I feel like we need a tier list.
Yeah, we'll start ranking them.
Yeah, because we didn't do the first couple, did we?
The first one we did was Die Hard.
All right, so yeah, we have one or two in the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll make like every week we'll update the tier list and we'll put a fucking a link to it in the
Well, how about this? How about we retroactively? CJ, could you have done a Muppet Christmas Carol?
Who am I?
That's a good
Scrooge?
question. I guess Scrooge. Could you?
Yeah, 100%. Scrooge just has to be there.
He does.
That's free. He doesn't do anything.
You just have to kind of be there and don't be a dick.
I could definitely do Michael Caine. My name is Michael Caine.
I always
A lot
heard
of
that the
people know
best
that.
way to do his voice is to say "my cocaine."
Michael Caine. Yeah.
There you go. Michael Caine, you're here. What did you think of Mean Girls?
Not a lot of people know that.
That you're here? Oh, well, I don't want to hold you, but thank you for stopping by, Michael Caine.
Yeah.
How
They
about
should decrease the surplus population.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Jesus, Michael Caine. What-
For the fucking Gregory Humperdinck, whatever that kid's name was, the Casio.
Yeah, Gregory Humperdinck. We're gonna go with that.
Yeah.
His name, Gregory Humperdinck. There we go.
Listen.
I'm gonna go back and edit that in for his name.
There you
So, how about Jurassic Park? Could you have done a Jurassic Park?
go. Who am I?
Yeah, you're the main dude.
Sam Neill.
Sam Neill. Alan Grant, I believe is his character's name.
I could be the other one.
Jeff Goldblum,
No.
Laura Dern.
Laura Dern.
You could be Laura Dern. So you would.
I kicked that dinosaur.
Okay. So yes as Laura Dern. Yes,
Yes.
in Laura Dern's spot.
I
I'm
feel
just
like I
making
would
note of
die in Sam Neill's role.
this. See,
Plus,
I would,
I'm afraid of heights. So the tree scene.
yeah, the tree and the climbing the fence, those would be tough.
I'm forgot about the fence.
Yeah, it's your favorite scene. One thing you wanted to mention, it's a story that popped into my head that I would love to tell on this podcast. You mentioned Katie with the psyops shit.
Uh-huh.
And if I were in this role, I totally would have gone the Katie psyops route because I've done some psyops shit in the past to people.
You're a gaslighter. Yep.
So in college, freshman year, my friend group at that time, we would always eat together. We would go down to the dining hall. We all lived in the same. Have I told you this story? Oh, it's a good one, right?
Yeah.
So we would always eat together. We'd go down to the dining hall. We all lived in the same dorm. So we pretty much would just shoot a text in the group and we would go eat at the same time. And early on in the school year, freshman year, I started pouring salt in people's milk at breakfast. Milk was really big in our friend group. I know that in 2024, drinking milk is a bit more of a faux pas, but I mean, it was freaking a decade ago. People were drinking milk left and right. People don't remember that about 2014. People drank milk like it was going out of business. So I started this little prank war of pouring salt in my friends' drinks when they got up to get more food. So I'd come back, take a sip of their drink, and be like, oh, disgusting, right? And I established quite a reputation for this where people would bring their drinks with them. And, you know, sometimes I would go way overboard when someone had like a centimeter of milk left. I would pour in so much salt that it was just like a crystalline mess at the bottom of the cup. And they would in no world drink it after having looked at it. So this goes on for a bit. My friends, we all kind of get in and on it. I'm like, my friend group was like 6 of us. Of the 6 of us, I probably was the one who poured salt in people's drink like over half the time. And the other half of the time was everyone else combined. But other people got in on it. I was just the foremost perpetrator. Anyway, near the end of freshman year, I decide I'm going out with a bang. So we had a friend in our group for, let's call her Katie, just because of the movie. So Katie, she gets up to go get more food one day at breakfast. And her milk is sitting right there and I have my glass and I grab the salt and I start pouring it a shit ton in my own glass. And all of my friends at the table are looking at me like, what are you doing? I was like, I said, just go along with it. Don't say anything. I'm like, okay. They had no clue what was going on. So I loaded up with salt, like disgusting amount. The only reason why someone would even possibly take a sip is because it still generally looked like milk. I added like just under the amount that would make it look not like milk, just under the suspicious amount. So I pour a shit ton of salt in my milk. Katie comes back. She sits down, starts eating. I then get up and I go and get more food. And I come back. And as soon as I sit down, I look at my glass of milk and I say, who put salt in my milk? And I look straight up at Katie because she's sitting directly across from me. So she would be suspect number 1, logically. And she's like, no one, literally no one. I go, I don't believe you. And she goes, no one. I go, really? Then take a fucking sip. So she goes, fine. And she grabs it and just like Heather Chandler, just kicks it back without thinking and immediately just starts spitting up the milk because of how salty it was. So if Regina were real, I think I would be pulling some psyop shit like that on her and sneaking like, I don't know, some high calorie powder into her drink.
You know, I said before that I could do psyop stuff, but I'm going to be real. I'm much more direct than that, and there's one story that I'll tell before we start wrapping up, obviously. Because I love your salt story. But let's just contrast further the differences between you and I. You ready?
Yeah.
So one time I was in line at McDonald's, and the way that the drive-thru was set up was that the left was the building, and then directly to the right was the parking lot. And when you got to the end, you could pull out onto the road, or you could make a right into the parking lot, right? So far, so good?
Mm-hmm.
So this guy cuts me off in the road, and then he gets stuck at a light, and I am able to go around him. Then he ends up turning into the McDonald's. I'm in the parking lot. He's in the parking lot. I'm in the drive-thru. He starts mouthing off to me, like screaming. He's got 2 kids with him, and I didn't really even get a look at the 2 kids. And he's still talking shit. So he goes inside, and the way that it was set up was the front counter from the drive-through window, you could see the guys at the front counter. They forgot like my fries or something or my drink. And so she leaves, but she leaves the windows open. He can see me in my car. He's yelling at me from the counter inside the McDonald's out the window.
What a psycho.
Right. And I said, why does only one of your kids look like you? And his face turned fucking white. And like I said, I didn't even get really a good look at the kids. But one of the kids straight up looks at him. And then I drove away. So I caused irreparable family harm on a hunch.
What if the kid just really turned and like, Dad, how does he know I'm adopted?
So yeah, that's
Very
more
nice.
my style. I'm not psyopy. I'm not subliminal. I'm liminal.
See, and that's why we work together, you know?
Super liminal.
You're the peanut butter to my jelly. Wow, you're not even going to comment on that?
Am I jelly?
I said you're the peanut butter to my jelly. Hello?
Oh, can
Hello?
I be jelly?
Yeah, sure. I would actually prefer to be peanut butter.
I don't like peanut butter, but jelly's okay.
What on earth?
No, I like peanut butter. I just don't like eating like peanut butter off the rip, you know? Like if you gave me a spoon, I would not fill it with peanut butter.
I would eat a whole jar of peanut butter in one sitting.
Yeah, I can't do that.
That's so good.
All
CJ,
right.
is the film Okie Dokie?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to say
100%.
I'm going to say that I am certainly on the fence of the side of the fence to say, yes, it is Okie Dokie. I liked it enough to say it's Okie Dokie.
Let's go!
I would be lying if I said I didn't consider the possibility of maybe it wasn't. It was close enough to where I had to consider that, but as soon as I started entering that realm, I'm like, no. It's not Okie Dokie. It's Okie
It's
Dokie.
100% Okie Dokie. Here's the question, right? Here's a really good question. When we say Okie Dokie, what is that line? Because by actual turn of phrase, we're saying it's okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is the actual line okay or is it good, right?
I don't know.
So when we say Okie Dokie, are we saying that it's okay or are we saying that it's good? Because I've been using it as it's good.
Yeah, no, me too.
So I just want to clarify for the audience, Okie Dokie is not a low bar, it's a high bar.
And, well, okay, if it's a high bar, because to me it's like, yeah, it's good. Like, I would say, yeah, it's like, I would
It's
rate
not-
this.
Sorry.
It's
It's not a high bar. It's
Right.
not a low bar.
Okay. Because, well, remember, earlier we established for you, Chicken Run is the line. If it's better than Chicken Run, it's Okie Dokie.
Yeah.
For me, I think like, if it's like, for me, 5 out of 10, perfectly average, right? It's right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
If something's above, like a 6.5 or above, a 6.5 or above, it's good. Okie Dokie.
Okay.
Maybe I need to shift that. Maybe I need to be a bit more elitist with my Okie Dokies.
Mine's a 7.
Okay.
Like, and it's really not even just about 7. It's also about like how I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. You know what? No, I'm gonna stick with Okie Dokie. I'm gonna stick with it. I just faltered back into the territory of it might not be Okie Dokie,
No, it's fine.
but I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with Okie
That's
Dokie.
good.
Okay.
Alrighty. So here we are.
Yeah.
So we have a few hanging things that we do at the end of every episode, including the rec room. Tommy, why don't you go first this week?
Sure. I got 2 things to rec. Bit of a lighter week. The first one is another album. I recommended a Khruangbin album a few months ago. But today I am recommending a brand new album from another one of my favorite bands, Hermanos Gutierrez. They released a new album called Sonido Cosmico. And they are, Hermanos Gutierrez, they are a duo. They are brothers. They are Swiss Ecuadorian. And pretty much just electric guitar, lap slide guitar, whatever it's called, and drums. It's just the 2 of them. And they play, it's strictly instrumental. It's like Latin instrumental with Western fusion and kind of surf rocky sounds in there.
Okay.
Great background music. I've been listening to this album pretty much on loop since it came out last week. A couple standout songs that I just wanted to note. Low Sun, great song. the titular song off the album, Sonido Cosmico, great song, and Barrio Hustle. Those are, I think, my 3 favorites off, so just wanted to give those specific shouts. And then a movie recommendation is I watched the new Netflix movie Hitman, and I was really surprised by it. I thought it was really fun. Despite it being called Hitman, I don't think this is really a spoiler. It is not an action movie at all. There's like 0 action in this movie. It is almost exclusively people sitting or standing around and talking, and it fucking rules for that. Mm-hmm. This movie is about Glenn Powell. He plays a college professor on like philosophy and stuff like that, or psychology, one of the two. I think psychology. On the side, he is a little bit of an electronics nerd, and as a side gig, he starts helping out the police by being the person to plant wires. He's pretty much their IT guy for drug stings. Or not drug stings, actually, hitman stings. Like, people think they're hiring a hitman off the dark web. It's really the cops.
Well, I saw the trailer for this, yeah.
Yeah. So he starts off with just doing the electronics, and he's a really dweeby, dorky guy. Through some circumstances, he ends up being the person undercover trying to bust the suspect, if you will. And he turns out he is a natural at doing this. And it's just about him and this hole that he goes down, and it's more than anything a rom-com. And the chemistry that the 2 leads have is fantastic, especially in the increasingly sexless landscape of Hollywood in the past decade. Like, this movie, it's a sexy movie. There's a lot of chemistry. There's, intimate scenes, and it was a good time all around. Big recommend. But yeah, that's really all I have to recommend this week. CJ, how about you?
I want to recommend 2 things, kind of keeping it in your vein. Keeping it short this week. The first one is a YouTube channel called Defunct Land. I love that channel.
Great
if you've never checked it out, they have 2 series. The guy has 2 series. He has Defunct TV and he has Defunct Land. His series on Jim Henson makes me want to be a better filmmaker and kind of makes me wish that I was better at doing certain things and whatever. Like, I wish I could make something like that. That's how fun it is. But I'm going to recommend his video, Disney Channel's Theme, A History Mystery. Genuinely one of my favorite YouTube videos I've ever watched. And I've watched it. I recently rewatched it. It is one of my favorites. It appeals to the way that my brain processes problems like a puzzle piece. And I thoroughly enjoy it. So highly recommend that.
I just want to say that's a great channel, and they have an incredibly deep catalog, so worth a binge.
Yes.
I remember watching them in 2018, and even then, tons of high quality videos. So big cosign there.
Is a video for everybody on that channel.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the other thing I'm going to recommend is a little show called The Owl House, which you are 1 episode away from finishing.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. So the way that the Owl House is a show, it was on Disney Channel, and it basically existed too early. If it had come out a year later, it would be a streaming juggernaut, but it was just right before Disney fully committed to Disney Plus and that style of content, and it was on the Disney Channel. And I gotta say this: if you're put off by the idea of watching a Disney Channel show as an adult, this is not just a show for kids. I don't know how Disney Channel allowed this show to exist, because this is nothing like what you would assume a Disney Channel show would be like. Be perfectly honest. The characters are phenomenal, and really, really love the show. I'm actually going to start watching it again. I'm also going to start watching Ted Lasso again because I miss it. That'll be replay number 9. And
Jesus Christ, CJ.
I love that show. Yeah, like, again, another puzzle piece in my head. So, and then going back one step, you are watching it right now, and I told you to watch it months ago, and you started watching it, and you're watching it while you work out. So I cannot believe you got to the last episode. So there's 3 seasons, technically 2, and then a third that wraps everything up.
Yeah, the third is only 3 episodes.
But they're 3 long episodes. I cannot believe you got to the last episode of season 2 and stopped halfway.
Yeah.
I genuinely can't believe you did that.
It's a workout show for me, and it stays as such.
I
because
cannot
then it's
believe.
more motivation for me to work out next time. I'm like, I gotta work out again so I can see what happens next.
Did you know what the name of the episode was while you were watching it?
Which episode are we talking about?
King's Tide.
I think I did, yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that as I was watching it, but I didn't think too deeply on it, you know?
Yeah. I just want to show you what some of the promotional material for this looked like really
Okay.
quick. This is part of why I cannot understand why you stopped. This was some of the promotional material for it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very
And
cool.
This.
Wow. I'm jealous for those people who cannot see these pictures, because wow.
We'll put them in the link in the description. But it's a picture of one of the characters' King's skull, and then the other one is a picture of his necklace. And I can't believe, because this is foreshadowing his death. I'm not going to reveal whether he dies or not, but this is what these images are suggesting. And it's like, oh my god. And you stopped in the middle of the episode. Likewise, you have one episode left to go in the show.
Yeah.
And everything has hit the fan, and you're like, yeah, I'll get to it tomorrow. If you stop in the middle...
I won't get to it till tomorrow. I won't get to it till Thursday.
What?
Yeah. Because I lift on Tuesday and Thursday right now. And I run on the other days.
All right. Well, on Thursday, you better watch that shit to the end.
Oh, I will. My workout is long enough that it lasts longer than those episodes. So I will for sure finish it Thursday.
Awesome. Because, yes, love that show. And it's a great show. It has a great ending, even though it was kind of canceled and they bargained to get this last little season to resolve everything.
I'll co-sign that again. I'll co-sign that as well. It's very, very fun show. I love the characters.
Oh, yeah.
The show really, really grew on me. I think the first season, it's definitely a mix of episodic and it's serialized in that things that happen, still continue to play out and there's ongoing storylines. But the first season is a lot more adventure of the week format.
Yeah.
And once you get to the second season, then the plot, you can tell the second season is when they're like, okay, we got renewed. Now we can really start the plot,
And there's a point halfway through the second season where the plot fast forwards really fast. And the plot is everything's picking up really fast. I kind of miss the adventure of the week stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just because once you've watched the whole show, you do miss some of that, you miss, because that's world building,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's good.
It's good. No, it's really good.
Yeah, the first season, if you struggle with kids shows, the first season definitely is the most. Oh, my dogs are playing in it on the other side of my door now. If you can hear them in the background,
well, we can. Yeah,
the first season feels more like just kids show, and it's the second season to me that the show really started to find its footing.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a good experience. I recommend it. The characters, I love the characters.
The deeper you get into the show, the more adult it gets. And I think that it does start making that change towards the end of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But no, it's good. All right. So that's my recommendations.
Awesome. Well, CJ, are you excited to hear what we're watching next time?
I don't like that tone in your voice, but go ahead.
Next time on The Film is Okie Dokie. And I alluded to this earlier. CJ, remember the one thing I pointed out in the Amy Poehler scene?
No.
I said her nipples were a focus of the scene. So, I don't know if you know this, CJ, but this was actually part 1 on our duology on movies with scenes where nipples are a focus.
Oh.
Because next time on The Film is Okie Dokie, we are watching Wild Wild West.
What?
Do you not know this movie?
Will Smith?
1999 movie starring Will Smith, Kenneth Branagh, Salma Hayek.
All right. I have purposefully avoided this movie for years. I know nothing about it.
It's a Western. You love Westerns, CJ.
Oh, don't do that
You
to me,
love
no.
Westerns.
I don't
West
think
is in the title.
No, it's
You're
right.
going to love this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, that was fun. All right. Well, we're gonna watch that next time. I've been CJ.
I've been Tommy. Oh wait, CJ, run us through all the things that people do.
What?
You're a hater.
What?
The stuff you say. The stuff you say.
Oh,
if you don't like us, you're a hater.
Yeah. Like us, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. If you don't give us if you don't give us 5 stars, I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. And yeah, thank you for that prod. I forgot to do my outro shtick.
No problem. I'll prod you anytime. Speaking of prods, did you know that you can buy like an electric cattle prod on Amazon for like surprisingly cheap?
Didn't know that. No, I didn't.
Yeah, I learned this a couple years ago and it fascinated. You could buy a cattle prod for like $50.
Okay. Well, did you put cattle prod in somebody's milk?
Oh no, but I mean, now that I have the idea floating around in my noggin, CJ, don't be drinking any milk near me at next GDQ.
I don't drink milk. But all right, thank you everybody for listening. We'll catch you next time on the Film is Okie Dokie.
Thank you.
Bye bye.